Let's get this motherfucker Gucci store ready. Alright, look like all the vocals and shit is good. I think I'm ready. I'm gonna put this next game on pretty soon, but other than that, I think the levels is good. What the fuck is that damn? Oh, I know what that is now. The levels is good. The levels is good. What a boy.
Okay. Big man, you wanna hear some hot takes?
I used to have a bomb.
Let's see how woke you are. You know something about podcasts? Hey, yo, dígame. You kidding me or what, man? I got these 3 drunk uncles with a sports podcast. They say they got fire takes, pure fuego. You find them wherever you listen to podcasts at. If it's what they say it is, you like and you subscribe. Listen, like, and subscribe, yeah. You know how to call into the show? Yeah, man, do the podbean app. You'll need headphones with a mic to call in. That's no problem, man. They'll also be at Sharky's, 8:07 p.m. on the first Wednesdays of the month. You may get some free Blue Chew. And they keep receipts or so. If anything happens in the sports world, MyT's gonna drop a take faster than a rabbit gets fucked. There's only 3 things I have in this world. My word, my balls, and this podcast. And I don't break them for nobody. MyT Sports Season 7.
Oh shit, I think that's my cue. Hold on. Let me get myself in here. I'm smoking. My bad. No, I'm joking. Good evening and welcome back to another edition of the MyT Sports Podcast. I am your host, the one annoying Dalando Mandela. It is another in fuego day in the hottest city in the world. Actually, I don't even know if I can fully say that and be truthful with you guys. I'm like, this shit is crooked, yo. What the fuck? I don't like the crookedness is going on. I don't know. That shit ain't got no straight line. You seen that shit, right? That shit was fucking with me. I ain't gonna lie. Sorry. Right, so I can't even say that, you know, it's another in fuego day in the hottest city in the world because it's been kind of cold lately. Like if you've been here, right, in South Florida, then you already know it's been a little cold as of late. So, wait, what's this? So I can't even fully say that. You understand? And you guys will understand when we give you the weather today. But it was another in fuego day in the hottest city in the world. We had lows today of 39, highs today of 77. Current temperature right now is 61 degrees. You okay? Did you step in something? Did you jam your knee? Are you okay? I don't know, for a second it looked like my sugars bit the big one. You alright, baby? She done threw me off and everything. I should have seen her. Like, she was over here, all bent over, like grabbing her knees, like it was the end of days.
I stubbed my toe.
Oh, she stubbed her toe. Ooh. Okay, that wouldn't make sense. Why she was hunched over, grabbing her knees like it was the end of days. Alrighty, folks. Like I said, it was another fuego day in the hottest city in the world. Lows of 39, highs of 77. Current temperature right now is 61 degrees. This is season 7, episode 57, excerpt 390 of the MyT Sports Podcast. You read all that shit below if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching anywhere. All that shit we're about to go over today, right? We got Brady's retirement we're gonna get into, and because of that, yes, folks, we also have the greatest weekend in football ever. We have LeBron James injured. We have an Australian Open championship. We have Burrow getting gutty. We have the show and their new cover athlete, folks. our Super Bowl matchup, as you know, is officially set. There is obviously going to be a quarterback carousel we're going to talk about. There's some blue chew we're going to get into, and also New Jersey Big Blue. Yeah, we're going to get into them just a little bit, folks. We got, obviously, as you know, the tea of the weekend to get into. NBA All-Star Week. NBA All-Stars have been announced. We have all that and more today on the podcast. But, folks, you guys already know what we say here. Regardless of the time. Because right now, the current time is about 8:24. We start at 8:07-ish. So right now, this is still good. I had to reload a soundboard at the very last minute. There we go. You know my phone never misses, folks. That's my phone doing that shit automatically. I'm telling you, its AI has evolved. Right? Its AI has evolved, and it has officially learned how to pick up on when I am officially when a joke has been made, or when something sarcastic has happened, or when anything of that nature has occurred. Yo, my phone has been on point, and I don't get it. Like it's almost too good to be true kind of shit, cause you're like, yo, how the fuck did you get so good? Like how did you get so good? Who made you who made you so good? Like MyT made you so good. Who helped you get so efficient? Oh, so self-efficient. Oh, MyT helped you get so self-efficient. And everybody that's listening on the website, don't worry. We know that we having website issues. We are also reloading that for you guys as we speak. But you know what? It doesn't matter. If you guys can't hear us on the website, I hope you're listening on multiple platforms. Like, by now. Okay, let me go check out something else. So don't forget we're also on Podbean, and that's where you can use so you can call into the podcast. Right, that's what we utilize our hotline with. Also, you can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on Facebook. You can watch the behind the scenes camera with Instagram. You can watch us on Twitch. You can watch us. I said YouTube already. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You can watch us anywhere that you know that you basically consume videos at. So for everybody else, right? I know everybody's wanting like, hey, like I want to hear on the website. Yeah, we get it. No worry, we're coming back to you guys pretty soon. You'll get it, but we're still gonna start the show the way that we start the show, and that is with our birthday celebration. Hey yo, DJ MyT, go ahead and start that birthday party music for us. Yeah, cause it's your birthday. We said it's your birthday. Check it, yeah. Check it, yeah. Because it's your birthday, we sing happy birthday. Check it, yeah. Check it, yeah. Okay, folks. As you guys know, we start off every single podcast with a little birthday party, folks, where we like to talk about all the birthdays that have passed since the last time we have been on the air. And ironically, there has only been one birthday that has passed since then, folks, and that is one birthday, and that birthday happens to come today. So we had no birthdays on the 29th, no birthdays on the 30th. If you know anybody that had a birthday on the 29th, the 30th, or today, go ahead and drop their names their name in the comment and the date of their birthday, and I'll go ahead and give them a shout out during this birthday party, right? But for right now, we only got one, and we'll go ahead and give that one their birthday shout out, folks. We want to say birthday shout out to Shayna Hargrave, and she turns 34 years old. Hey, listen, I know you're like, hey, why you putting on my? It's what I got. It's exactly what I have, so that we can do what we do. So. I forgot there's more than one on you. So to Shayna, we want to say happy birthday to you. And it's funny, somebody was making fun of me earlier. Funny story about Shayna, right? no, actually the connection with Shayna is that Shayna happens to be the little cousin of my boy Darnell. You know what I mean? Like he's their little people. You know what I mean? So that makes them fam automatically. So happy birthday, Shayna. All right, we hope you party hard. Hope you enjoy everything. We hope you regret nothing. More importantly, we hope you continue to get your weekend at Bernie's on and continue to stay MyT. Yeah. Yeah, it's your birthday. We said it's your birthday. check it, yeah. Check it, yeah. 'Cause it's your birthday, we sing happy birthday. Check it, yeah. Check it, yeah. I'm just wilding at this point, to be honest with you. I'm 100% just wilding at this point. But yes, happy birthday to Shayna. I want to say happy birthday, Shayna. Okay, DJ, MyT, you can go ahead and cut the beat. Yeah, go ahead and cut it. We good. Alrighty. So folks, let's go ahead and start getting into the podcast. As if you may have recently been listening, we like to start off our Monday mornings right after the birthday party with a little bit of gossip, right? We're like just a little bit of gossip, just a little bit of tea, not the whole MyT, but just a little bit of tea, right? Just a little bit of tea. So let's go into a segment that I like to call the tea of the weekend, folks. And in our, do I got a sounder for that here? Yo, DJ MyT, I got anything for that tea of the weekend yet, or we still working on that? You got anything? You got any suggestions for me? Like something I can work with, something I can test out, like something, like nothing. You got nothing. You're the MyT DJ. He be wildin'. I ain't gonna lie. So you know what? Why the MyT DJ works on something there for me, right? So as you guys know, right, I always like to have a little something on in the background, folks. So we have a couple of games on in the background. First of all, I am rewatching the games from this weekend. Yes, folks, I am rewatching the games from this weekend. So currently, probably like for the third or fourth time today, I have on that San Francisco versus LA Rams game. And yo, can I once again, best weekend of football ever. Best weekend of football ever. You can't convince me either or otherwise. I'm telling you right now, best weekend of football ever. It has been incredible. I am completely happy. It's we damn near called this shit. If you've been like we damn near called this. Here it is. Like the matchup that I don't know if a lot of people thought this was gonna be how it worked out, but it definitely worked out in a way where I'm just so happy about this weekend. It definitely worked out in a way that I can sit here today and I can brag that I told you so. You know, like I don't want to fully be like that, but in a weird way, I'm like, yo, I told you so. So we gonna talk about all that today. Trust me. When I tell you that it is really one of those podcasts that you don't want to miss. Yeah, we have one of those podcasts you don't want to miss. It really is like that. And but also the other game that we have on today, which I'm actually trying to still put on as we speak. As you can see, like I can't really see too well. Right, I got this bright ass light in my face. I'm gonna have the Knicks and Sacramento game on, and it's so weird that we have the Knicks and Sacramento game because these two teams are being linked to each other heavily for trade talks. And as those trade talks continue to pick up and we get closer to the trade deadline, we're going to keep our eye on everything Sacramento, and obviously we already keep our eye on everything Knicks. And ironically, you know what's so funny? I think I already listened to everything Sacramento Kings because my rookie Davion Mitchell is a Sacramento King. So I listen to a lot of Sacramento stuff. So let's let you guys know, like I'm already listening to that, and as I said, yes, a lot of connections with Sacramento and New York when we talk about talks. So we'll also keep that up to date as we continue. DJ MyT, was that enough time for you to possibly find something for me to talk over or for us to test out to see if we like it for the tea of the weekend? You got something? Okay, let's go. Tea of the weekend. How do I like this? I don't have this on something else already? You sure? Okay, let's bring that back. Let's bring that back. I thought I had this already, but yeah. Get that hot tea. Okay. Okay. Let's go, folks. If you guys already know, we got the tea of the weekend. Folks, very first thing that we have, the champ is here. The champ was in championship form. And apparently, the champ likes chicken. Who are we talking about, folks? We're talking about the one champ as the Milwaukee Bucks. They go into New York and they go into New York and they completely derail them, folks. So yeah, the champ likes chicken. And if you don't know about the champ liking his chicken, whoa, let's back up here. Can we do that again? Can we do that again? Oh, let's get this back. The champ is here. What's going on here?
Milwaukee, this is for you.
There we go. And the champ is in championship form. And if you haven't seen, the champ also likes chicken. How many pieces?
So can I have please a 50-piece, not 51, not 49 chicken minis, yes, 50. And let me have a large drink, no ice, half Sprite, half lemonade. Thank you. Oh man.
Randall Rousey has returned to WWE. And dreams do come true. They can happen to you if you're Matthew Stafford. End of the day, Cali wins. To live and die in LA. Mahomes' new motto, Drake-ish. One time is fine with me. Because that's how many championships he has won after we keep crowning him every season. Stay with me. Josh Daniels, free from New England. What happens in Vegas is now the responsibility of Josh McDaniels. John Morant. Just amazing. Just incredible. Must see TV. Frank Vogel. Almost out in LA. Trade deadline February 10th. NBA All-Stars announced. Harrison Barnes upsets everybody.
Sorry, B.
Shohei Ohtani. You got something in your throat? Oh, shit. Shohei Ohtani. There we go. The show cover athlete. Let's try that again. Shohei Ohtani. The show cover athlete. I'm telling you, the tea of the weekend has been crazy. Rafael Nadal. Well,
I'm champion. Get shit on. Get shit on. Get shit on. Your ass. Your ass. Shut the fuck up. 1v1 me, you pussy. Pussy. Fucking 1v1 me. You piece of shit.
Rafael Nadal, Australian Open champion. Bad Bunny returns to WWE for the Royal Rumble. Eliminates one wrestler. Tour coming in August. LeBron James, injury prone. Anthony Davis, injury prone. Kevin Durant, injury prone. Kevin Durant.
Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks?
Will there be a Tom Brady award? The greatest weekend in football includes Tom Brady's retirement. Tom Brady retires. 7 Super Bowls. 3 scandals. 3 super teams later. Special thanks to Aaron Donald. Special thanks to Bernard Pollard. Special thanks to Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, Antonio Brown, Von Miller, Jimmy G,
That Jimmy. That Jimmy.
Matt Castle, Nick Folk, Tom Coughlin, most importantly, Eli Manning. Because you guys know
I'm from New York, and you know what? Tom Brady's a fucking bitch.
Bing bong.
the only team in New York lends their little brother a handout. New Jersey Giants gets Buffalo's assistant GM, Joe Shane. New Jersey Giants gets Buffalo's offensive coordinator, Brian Gable. New Jersey Giants, Buffalo of the South. And that, folks, is your tea of the weekend. What's going on, SB? I see, yo, how crazy is that? Oh, man, listen. I know if you're, and you know, let's start there, because it's been a while since we spoke. We got SB back into the building. SB, as you guys know, is the MyT Sports Podcast, residential Buffalo correspondent, all things Buffalo that we go to him for. We're talking about not just Buffalo, sorry, Canada and Buffalo. So we're talking about Toronto Raptors, Buffalo Bills, Toronto Blue Jays. We'll hold off on that. So SB, how have you been doing, my friend? Are you with us? Are you on the vocals? Oh yes, you are. There you go.
I'm surviving, brother. How are you?
I am doing good. You know, everything is copacetic over here. You know, just relaxing, potting, and consuming for the most part. And every once in a while, you know, getting a couple of games of 2K so I get my player rating up. So how did you enjoy the tea of the weekend? They think I got a lot. They think I covered everything. Did I miss anything?
And I don't even know if I need to ask that your my player plays for the Knicks.
Oh, my player definitely plays for the Knicks. I was in Detroit. I forced my way out of there, and now I play for the Knicks. I couldn't have it any other way. Now, on the old gen, before I got the next gen, I stayed with the Lakers for some reason. And I think the only reason I stayed with the Lakers was because I really badly wanted to get Carmelo Anthony and Russell Westbrook a title. Like, I really, really bad. It really hurt my heart. I was going to get LeBron James another one. Because that's my goal, is to make sure by the time the new season comes out, I always have one more ring than LeBron James has. So basically, I try to get 5 championships before the season comes out. It used to be easier, you know, but you know he keeps making it harder and harder every 4 years or so, and every new super team or so. Well,
I did the same thing because I wanted to change the LeBron narrative. I wanted to carry him to his last couple titles, just so no one could ever debate the Jordan thing.
Oh, see, I enjoyed stopping him. I'm telling you, my favorite year in NBA 2K was the very year was the year before he won his first championship in Miami. Like going against that Miami team was rough. Actually, going through that East back then was rough because they still had Detroit that was popping. They had Miami that was tough to get through. You had Indiana. You had oh my goodness. Who else? Detroit, Indiana. Miami.
I remember playing online and there was the no Miami rule. You couldn't be Miami online.
Oh, listen, there was no Miami. Oh, remember there was no Golden State rule for one point in time too. But yeah, it gets crazy, and people make rules. That's what makes it fun though. It always makes things interesting. Make sure all cameras are on me. Okay. So since we're talking about the Knicks in a roundabout way, let's go ahead and start the podcast off with our Knicks talk. I know most people's like, oh, how are you gonna start the podcast with Knicks talk? Brandon, what happened? Well, first of all, I don't think I have to explain to you guys. But in case you guys didn't realize, I think I said it already.
I'm from New York, and you know what? Tom Brady's a fucking bitch.
So we start off the podcast talking Knicks, right? And it's not gonna be a lot of Knicks for you Knicks folks out there, right? Because there's not a lot to talk about for the Knicks. New York Knicks are 23-27. They're fifth in the conference, fifth in the division means they're last. They're 12th in the conference, which means that they are third from last. They're out of play of postseason contention right now. They're basically winning 46% of the games. Last week they had 4 games. They only managed to win one. That was the game. That was the first game of the week on the Sunday matinee against the LA Clippers. After that, they lost 3 straight to the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Miami Heat, and the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, when I come back and I do a recap of the week, am I as upset as I am the day after when I'm doing the podcast? No. I'm able to have a little bit, I'm able to reflect just a little bit, right? And in that reflection, I'm able to see, you know what? The New York Knicks are struggling. They're struggling bad. And not only are they struggling, they're technically missing their 2 best players from last year. They don't have Derrick Rose and they don't have Julius Randle. They don't have Julius Randle from last year. They have Julius Randle from 2 years ago. They have Mr. Hurricane Warning, Mr. Cyclone, Mr. Spin Move. Right? That's who they have. So they're basically missing their 2 best players from last year. And I think if this is how they looked last year, before going on that run at the end of the year, this would probably be a little bit more acceptable this year because this is probably more on pace to where we should be. For a team that is coming from nothing, that was struggling to win 20 games, that was struggling to win double-digit games for basically half a decade, for almost a decade sometimes it feels like, right? For a team that was having victories in the teens, this is a lot more indicative to what your season should look like. And even this is better than the norm. Because you've already matched how many wins you've normally had over the last decade. It's just that last year we had that spark. We had a good spark. Derrick Rose came in. He gave us a nice spark. We ended up winning 60% of our games once Derrick Rose was infused into the team, which helped propel us to the 4th seed. But if you actually really take a step back, and I've said this for a while, the New York Knicks have a rough division that they're in. Outside of the Sacramento Kings, who they're playing tonight, who has a tougher division to play in than the New York Knicks? Toronto Raptors, champion. Brooklyn Nets, super team. Boston Celtics, solid as a rock. Philadelphia 76ers, MVP candidate Embiid. And even before that, when we're talking about the past, you know, they still had a confident, what's his name? Ben Simmons. So New York Knicks are in a division that is going to be easy for them to pick up wins in. They lose to Cleveland. Cleveland is a top 5 team right now in the East. They lose to Miami. Miami's the number 1 team in the East. They lose to Milwaukee. They're the fucking champions from last year. And Giannis played like it. I'm gonna tell you something I don't know if most of you guys realize. Giannis don't even look the same. Giannis don't even look the same. Talking about what confidence does for you. Holy crap. Like, you no longer see him. I'm talking about from the very beginning when Giannis was walking to the court to do the jump ball. I'm just seeing the way that he was walking with his chest just all puffed out, like a male peacock in heat. You know what I mean? Like, you know. But he seriously had his chest all bucked out and shit. You know what I mean? Like a male ram trying to, you know what I mean, trying to do the maiden dance. And I'm like, yo, this don't even look like the same Giannis from last year. It's a completely different dude. And while we've have had decent wins against Milwaukee for the last couple of years, this time wasn't gonna be that time. We were up at one point in time, as the New York Knicks always tend to do. Like I said, the New York Knicks even tend to do one or two things. Either come back from a 20-point deficit or blow a 20-point lead. One of the two things they're going to do. After a while, you just saw Giannis just basically lock in and focus, and next you know, this is a blowout in the third quarter. Again, the New York Knicks go back to having third quarter woes, but what do you expect? Julius Randle is looking worse than 18-day-old dog shit. Like he's looking horrible. He's looking like an 18-day-old decayed body out there. Body language horrible. All he does is complain to the referees. His teammate Obi Toppin falls to the floor. Everybody else is running to go help him up. Julius Randle sulking. Turns his back to him, complaining to the refs, walking back, doesn't run back. I've been asking you this all year. Why has Julius Randle been the only person that gets away with not playing good defense? Yet everybody else on the team, young and old, they get judged based off of their effort on defense, except for Julius Randle. Julius Randle isn't a star, and he don't need star treatment. He's a B player that played really well last year. And if you're going to want him to play good this year, then you better start holding him accountable the same way you decided to hold Kemba Walker accountable. Just because you paid him the most money in the team don't mean you can't hold him accountable. Hold him accountable the same exact way, because his ass needs to be benched. As it currently stands right now, there's massive trade talks when it comes to Julius Randle's name going everywhere. Everywhere and anywhere. As the Knicks are talking about bringing a point guard on the team, you know who's talking about leaving? Julius Randle, which is good. That's what Julius Randle was supposed to be last year. He just played his way into a way that made him indisposable. Now, this year, he's disposable again. Remember, the reason why we drafted Obi Toppin was to get rid of Julius Randle, was to make Julius Randle expendable. Julius Randle was just in a contract year and played his way into disposability. I don't know if that's really even a real word. I think I'm making shit up. During that time, we're talking about Julius Randle having horrific games. 9 points, 11 points, 13. Like, oh my God. And then he's going back to avoiding the media. Meanwhile, during that time frame, RJ Barrett again is balling. 22 points he's averaging per game, which is right around the area that we want him at, so he can start showing the league that, you know what, I'm a top 3 draft pick. I can be a go-to guy. When Julius Randle ain't cutting it, I'm still a cut above the rest, at least on this team of young guys. And at least the good thing about it is that we know that RJ Barrett is always going to get his minutes. If the other person outside of Julius Randle that gets minutes unconditionally is probably RJ Barrett. But we see RJ Barrett on defense. We see him playing both sides. Now, does he get burned by a defender every once in a while? He does, but we don't see bad body language from him. He's the one. We actually, I don't know if you see it, but in a weird way, you see him trying to form himself into the young leader of this team. Believe it or not. Based off of his actions, based off his play, his interactions with his teammate, and based off his demeanor. His stoic, almost kind of monotone demeanor. And then now he gets his college running mate in. And we're talking about Cam Reddish here. Cam Reddish comes over to the Knicks, and I have a hard time believing that the New York Knicks will give up a player and a first-round pick to a person that they plan on keeping on the bench. But as of right now, Cam Reddish has come onto the Knicks, and he's just basically replaced Kevin Knox's role as bench warmer. What I don't understand is why is Kemba Walker continues to fail us? Why is Evan Fournier continue to fail us? Why is Julius Randle continue to fail us? Why aren't you giving more minutes and more playing time to the Obi Toppins and the Grimes and even Cam Reddish as he just came in? Because what more do I need to see of Evan Fournier? Cam Reddish is over here averaging 18 points a game over here in Atlanta, and yet you have him off, and yet you can't get him any minutes. It's a 13 points a game in 18 minutes. Something weird like that. And you have to remember, Cam Reddish wanted out of Atlanta because he was unhappy with the playing minutes that he had in Atlanta. That's right. And he was getting 18 minutes a game there. And he was unhappy with that. And he's barely getting 3 minutes in a game that doesn't matter. In a game that's already considered over for the Knicks. So that's an incident I'm going to keep an eye on. Because it's either one or two things. Either Cam Reddish just wanted to come to New York, or either he just wanted to leave Atlanta, and he knew that there may possibly a way for him to come to New York, and he wanted to come to New York, play with R.J. Barrett, so that they can start their own little. I used to say I ain't stopping Obi Top, and Tom Thibodeau said, "Want to bet?" He basically said, "Yo, hold my beer on that." You are so right. You are definitely so right. So I'm very hard pressed to believe that we gave up a first round pick just to have somebody warm the bench. We give up a player and a first round pick. So either there's more moves to come and they plan on inserting more youth into this lineup, which recently they've actually come out and say that they plan on inserting more youth into the lineup. But that's because they say it doesn't mean that Tom Thibodeau is going to break his habits and do it. Because I understand that you want to that in a weird way that the New York Knicks switched their narrative and went from young player development into win now mode. And when you want to win now, the best way to win now is to play your vets. But these aren't win now vets. These aren't the vet. Like I said, the New York Knicks started maneuvering backwards. Instead of it being a young team that is going to have some veteran leadership to help guide them, you switched it up to a championship contending team that is trying to infuse some young talent in there. And that's not what we were. We were never a championship contending team, especially not with guys like Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose. And Nelson Noel and what's his name? And damn it, the little light-skinned goon. Taj Gibson. Like, that wasn't it. These guys were supposed to be backups to young guys. Not starting major pieces. So we're gonna keep an eye on and see what they do with Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish, I'm gonna assume is gonna start to have to get some minutes here, because if he's not getting minutes, then he's gonna end up being even more unhappy here than he was in Atlanta. And if he's not getting minutes here, then and we don't hear anything from him, then it wasn't about the minutes. He just wanted to leave Atlanta. And if you just want to leave Atlanta and play here, then okay, then let him sit back and trust the process. But I'm not okay with that. I'd rather play Cam Reddish than Evan Fournier. Just like I'd rather play Deuce McBride and Grimes instead of Kemba Walker, because Kemba Walker needs rest every other day. So when you play him for 36 minutes for 3 days straight, guess what? Now we don't have him for 2 weeks. He should only be playing 10 to 18 minutes a game. But him and Derrick Rose both, because you should be starting Emmanuel quickly. But you don't want to break up the bench unit so bad that you're saying, oh, these guys are good coming off the bench. What if these guys are just good? How about that? You're saying these guys are good coming off the bench. Whoa, how about they are good and they come off the bench? How about now you start them to say they can be good while starting, and you force other people to be good off the bench? These older players that can't keep up, that after all these minutes that you keep taxing on them, they need breaks. Alex Burke, Nelson Noel, Taj Gibson, not Obi Toppin, but Kemba Walker. Remember, Derrick Rose is already out injured. We about to get Derrick Rose back. Hopefully, he can give us some same kind of spark that he gave us last year. Hopefully. Like I said, but right now, Cam Reddish isn't getting enough playing time. R.J. Barrett is slowly moving into the leadership role, but he's not quite there yet because I think he needs to be a little demonstrative on getting the ball. Once he gets to that point, maybe he would have crossed over that threshold to be like, okay, I'm the bona fide leader of this team. Right now, he's showing leadership qualities, but he's still taking settle fiddle to Julius Randle. And Julius Randle, with his bad body language and his bad leadership skills, he may no longer be here much longer. There's heavy talks with Sacramento about Julius Randle, which makes me believe that a trade with Sacramento isn't going to happen. I'm going to tell you something that's very odd, Knicks. You realize that the New York Knicks have not been mentioned one time with the Ben Simmons trade? Let me ask you this, New York Knicks fans. What would you give up for Ben Simmons? And let's start with a draft pick and Julius Randle. And we're gonna have to work in at least 2 more real pieces. Who are you willing to give up? What young talent may you also be willing to part ways with? Let's say another draft pick comes in there. So we talk about Julius Randle and 2 draft picks. What young talent are you willing to also part way with? That may actually be productive, that you actually like. It's not going to be Obi. It could be Quentin Grimes. It could be Emmanuel Quickly. It could be Deuce McBride. Probably not Deuce McBride. So we're probably talking about Emmanuel Quickly or Quentin Grimes. Which one of those guys are you okay with parting ways with? Because it's probably going to cost you one of them. I'm just saying. The fact that the New York Knicks... Listen, it could also possibly even cost you maybe Evan Fournier. Maybe those guys and Evan Fournier. Who knows? Evan Fournier has a contract that makes him kind of hard to move, if I'm not mistaken. I think he still has 4 years left on his deal. So maybe it cost you, if we're lucky, Kemba Walker, Julius Randle, 2 first-round picks, and Emmanuel Quickly. Would you take that to get Ben Simmons? Don't worry, we're gonna find out. Cause listen, even I kind of want to know. At this point in time, what would you give up to get Ben Simmons? And know that is going to cost. Now, like I said, there's talks about Sacramento. The talk with Sacramento is Mr. Fox, swipey no swipey. He recently signed his rookie extension, and that rookie extension matches well with just about what Julius Randle is making. Remember, Julius Randle's contract is right around that rookie extension money. Just to let you guys know. That's the reason why if he gets that Ben Simmons money, you're talking about you're gonna have to add another $10 million on there. That's probably why Kemba Walker, that if Philly wants to use, they can use, and they can use him sparingly. Get another leader in that locker room, or they can cut him. It's a 1-year deal he has for $8 million. They could cut him and let somebody else grab him. So we got SB says a bag of balls, pause, and a G liner is as high as I'll go for Ben Simmons at this point. Hey,
A
G
G
Leaguer. Yeah, I just realized what I did there. And a G, yeah, you know, that's kind. See, I know what most people are saying, but at the end of the day, what makes it tough is that Ben Simmons is still an all-star defender, and when I think of all-star defenders, then you have to start thinking of Rudy Gayish. And start thinking about how guys like him get paid, or how would guys like him be coveted if they were on the market.
See, the longer we go without seeing him when we don't know what he's doing, the lower his value gets.
I think the higher. See, I'm not the way around. I think it gets higher because then we get further away from that one moment, and then we get to focus more on what he's been overall. Cause that's how I feel. That's what happens to me. Like the further I'm getting further away from. Okay, he's just that one moment, and now I'm looking at, well, you know what? Overall, he's been an all-star this many times. He's made a defensive team this many times. He's a two-way this. You know what I mean? And based off and if he's that kind of defender and playmaker, he's automatically a Tom Thibodeau guy. Because there's one thing that you don't have to say about Ben Simmons. You don't have to worry about effort. Like he gives effort and he plays defense, and that's two things that Tom Thibodeau would love to have at any given day. And he's 6'10" and a nightmare mismatch.
I agree with that, but we don't even know if the man's in the gym right now. Like, is he sitting at home? Is he partying with the Kardashian?
I'm gonna hope and say that he is in the gym because ballers are ballers, hoopers are hoopers, right? Like you can't, like you almost get that get like that crackish feeling where you're just like, yo, I gotta get in the ball, you know what I mean? And plus, I would hope that whenever he gets to his new team, that he wants to get that. I would want to hit the ground. What's going on, Ronnie? I see you. Welcome to the podcast. I would want to hit the ground running, so that I can show my old team that, yeah, you got rid of me, but I'm about to bust. I'm about to like get to heights that you never even knew I can do in this league. That's how I feel. But we don't know. I'm hoping that he's not sitting at home doing anything. Like that would just be a bonehead move. But not just Knicks fans, right? Like I said, I presented it to Knicks fans. A realistic offer of players that, because Philadelphia wants players that they can use, of Julius Randle and Kemba Walker, probably also Emmanuel Quickly and 2 picks to go get Ben Simmons. What would you give up realistically? Because it's gonna have to be something of value and something that hurts a little. Like if it doesn't hurt, if what you're giving up doesn't sting a little, then you haven't given up anything. Because you can't just be out here and be like, oh, we can give up Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker and blah blah blah, and think that you could just offload all your trash as if Philly is that fucking stupid. If Philly was that stupid, they would have already pulled the trade for him already. They want value, and those may be our 2 most valuable pieces.
There's a reminder for Talon.
Thank you. If it's not production wise, then also from a leadership standpoint. So let's move on from the New York Knicks. I just want you guys to think about that, because the trade deadline is February 10th. We are 10 days away from the trade deadline. And something is going to happen. I not just if you're a New York Knicks fan. If you're a Brooklyn Nets fan, have an eye out. If you're realistically maybe a Gary Trent Jr. and 2 picks. Does that money match up? Let's see. Remember, that money has to match up. Ben Simmons is making $29 million. That's the reason I think I used to ask you. Basically, he makes the same money as Pascal. I remember I used to ask you, would you trade Ben Simmons for Pascal? I think that's the reason why I used to ask you, because I think their money matches up at almost to the T. That's what I'm saying realistically, because if that money doesn't match up, then we have to work within trade, within contract guidelines. So let me know if that money matches up. But I don't know if Gary Trent Jr. and 2 picks is going to be able to cut it. Gary Trent Jr. is 17, so you still gonna have to make up. Yeah, you have to find about another 12 million from somewhere. And then like I said, they're gonna want to, and then also there's gonna be somebody that Philly's gonna want that's productive. Goran Dragic, boom. So we have out of Toronto market. Say that again. Say that for SB. SB, go ahead and present your trade.
Gary Trent Jr., Goran Dragic. Because we're throwing in Dragic, I'm going to say 1 first-round pick now instead of 2.
1 instead of 2. That's tough.
They might have to throw in. They might have to throw in something for maybe a pick swap.
A box of donuts and bagels. See, again, I fully understand you guys, I get the jokes on Ben Simmons. But you have to remember, Ben Simmons, All-Star, the multiple-time All-Star player, All-Star defensive player, basically. When you think about his trade value, outside of the one moment, think of it as trading for Rudy Gobert in a sense. Well, listen, he quit on his team, but what he's doing what I guess you could say James Harden did, or what John Wall did. He's doing I'm trying to force my weight, I'm trying to force myself out move. This looks different in many different ways, but he's pulling the I'm forcing myself out move. But I'm forcing myself out after my team kicked me in my lowest moment. Like, not for nothing, right? Like let's be for real. Let's play this on the other side. I'm an all-star defender. You guys know I can't shoot. Now, granted, I could have dunked this goddamn ball on Trae Young. I could have dunked it and put my nuts all over his fucking gremlin-like forehead, right? But I'm an all-star defender, right? I had a moment of lapse. I had a bad moment of judgment, right? My worst moment of judgment ever as a hooper, on probably the biggest stage I've ever been on in the NBA. And instead of my team having my back, they kicked me when I was down. How the fuck you expect me to react? Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, equipment manager, you're cool, I want out. Like, seriously, how would you feel at 22? In the peak of your young roosterness. When you think your superpowers is at its might, your emotions are still unchecked. How would you feel? In a weird way, I can understand Ben Simmons. Should that diminish my trade value? Maybe a little bit, but I still should be worth. But who's that to say? But I agree. So I understand. Like, should it diminish my trade value? Maybe a little. But at the end of the day, I'm still an all-star defensive player. And I've been that for years. I had a moment of judgment that most players, in that moment, they get the opportunity to learn from to become great. I'm not even given an opportunity to learn from. I got kicked by my team, and then I got kicked by the world. If I've been a great player this whole entire time, you know what I have now? I have an edge. I have a bona fide edge. I have a fuck you and fuck the world edge. I don't know how they say fuck the world in Australian. Fosters. That's not how they say it? Fosters? Right? Fosters. Fuck you in Australia. but you know what I mean? Like, am I crazy? Like, am I crazy? Like, in that alternative line of thinking? Like, if you're Ben Simmons, you should be hurt. Like we've been ragging on him because we've even ragged on him here. But if we step back and put ourselves in Ben Simmons' shoes, yo, my team turned my back on me, on my lowest moment, and then they tried to backtrack. The world turned their back on me, and they still ain't backtracked. The city that I've been balling for turned their back on me, and I know they ain't about to come back. like the only way I get the city of Philly back is that we're gonna have to go on like a 35-game winning streak and win a championship. And during that 35-game winning streak, I'm gonna have 43 triple doubles.
I was gonna say, all jokes aside, this could be one of those stories where 5 years from now he gives an interview and tells us what was really going on, and maybe guys like me that like to make jokes will regret it a little bit. If maybe there's some actual things going on with him that we don't know about right now.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's what I said. Like, sometimes we have to like step back and like I said, like we've made fun of him plenty of times. We've been as hard on him as anybody else right here on this podcast. But today, January 31st, I decided to take. If I put myself in Ben Simmons' shoes, I can't say that he's wrong in his actions. I can't sit back. I can't honestly say. I can't continue and be like he's completely wrong here. There's a part of me that's like, you know what, Philly? All of Philly teammates, Philly fans, Philly management, organization, rap label, all of it. Like, even Philly rappers made him a punch. Like, you understand? Philly newscasters made him a punchline. Like, wow. Newscasters had made him a punchline. You had people saving innocent people. You had people saving. You had random civilians saving other people's lives, and they made him punch. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It was the alligator guy. The guy in the alligator made him a punchline. So I could kind of understand him being a little okay, so let me ask you guys, Ronnie, SB. If I put it to you that way, and you're in Ben Simmons' shoes, where in your lowest of low moment, your team kicks you, the media kicks you, the city kicks you, the fans kicks you, how are you gonna feel? SB? In your lowest moment, how would you feel if what happened to... Honestly, yes, Ronnie. Honestly, how would you feel your lowest moment if what happened to Ben Simmons happened to you? Your lowest moment, your unit turns their back on you. You know what I mean? How would you feel when you went because you've been in all?
Are we talking like after the playoffs last year, or are we talking about like when he left camp this year?
What's about? If you're Ben Simmons, how would you feel from the moment that you missed that shot and all these actions started happening? Like, how would, like, is he wrong for feeling fuck Philly? Because think about this, right? Because remember this, remember, this is one moment that we're highlighting here. Before then, he was an all-star. He's been an all-star player, which means that he's been great, or he's been real fucking good. And we've all know where his deficiency has been. There's been really good players that has deficiencies, but they've been experts in what they've been experts in. Now, granted, did we should you have dunked that fucking ball? Yes. Listen, take it from a Knicks fan. That Knicks fans have shitted on Patrick Ewing for not dunking a goddamn layup at us. You can still come back from it a little. Let's see.
For saying fuck Philly, but they're also not wrong for the way they reacted. As a pro athlete, you kind of open yourself up to that criticism.
Okay. Sorry, I was listening, SB. I was also reading what Ronnie says. He said after a few low moments in the military, I was very close to getting mastered. Supposed to be mastered, and kicked out after giving over 15 years. I prayed on it and let God handle things, and everything turned around, bro. I know I continue to build my legacy before I close this chapter. So I see both sides. Yeah, listen. You know, it's actually ironic. I have a similar moment like that in the military too, where like I fucked up and did some shit in the military, and like I said, up until that time, I was one of their best soldiers in the unit, and my commander wanted to kick me out. But like I said, and I know it's my commander who wanted to kick me out. My unit actually had my back, but I was stuck in the, you know what? I'll have to show my commander that I'm not that soldier that she thought I was, and I ended up becoming soldier of the year that year. Right after that. That's like winning MVP. I was like, oh, I don't think I'm shit. Like I pulled a Julius Randle. I was like, oh shit, let me get edited out. And then the next year I was like, I went back to my ways. I was like, I just wanted to show you guys that I can do it. Like, I'm not going through that shit for a whole year again. Nah, that shit was way too difficult. Like I damn near gave up everything. Yeah, see, that's like I won. Like first it was Soldier of the Month, then it was Soldier of the Quarter, and then and then it was Soldier of the Year. And I still never forget how I passed Soldier of the was it Soldier of the Quarter? Yeah, how I passed Soldier of the Quarter. How I slightly passed Soldier of the Quarter, and that's because when I sat down, I was leaning to the side, right? And in my head, and I'll never forget it. When I mean leaning to the side, imagine holding your body leaning for about like in let me see, we got 90 degrees, so somewhere let me see, at like a 15-degree angle the whole entire time, right? And imagine like your ribs and everything burning, and I'm doing the soldier board. And I'm leaning the whole entire time, and in a weird way in my head, I'm like, am I really this nervous that the room is tilted? But I couldn't tell if it was my nervousness that made the room tilted or if my body was actually tilted. And I didn't want to move, and I didn't want to try to correct myself and try to sit straight because I wasn't sure which one of the two it was. So I didn't want to so I wasn't sure if I was gonna move myself from being straight to tilting the other way. So I just stayed the way I was, and they ended up telling me that is the fact that I was tilted. I got stuck tilted, and I stayed like that the whole entire time and stayed focused, and they gave me like 1 extra point to beat somebody out. But I see what you're saying too. He's a professional. He needs to act like it. But he's 22. He like there's different levels to it. Like there's some like is there some petulance in there? Yes. You know what I mean? So I do agree that there may be some petulance in there that he's kind of acting like that he may be acting like a kid, but. He's hurt. He's bona fide hurt. And how can you how can you go back and look at everybody that you think betrayed you? Because I'm assuming that's how he feels. He may feel betrayed. How can you go back now and play for a coach that you think betrayed you in the media? Go back and listen to a coach that you think betrayed him. Go back and play hard for a team that you think. How can I go hustle for a board or go set that pick for Ben Simmons? You know what I mean? How can I but Joel? How can I truly give this team this all if I think that everybody here betrayed me? So I'm like, I can't do it. I can't play here anymore. Like this ain't the place for me. Like as it currently stands, this is now a toxic environment. I can't function here. I got anxiety. He's stressing there now. In a way, like I said, it's really weird. It's taking me this long to think about it this way. and I'm telling you, the only reason why I keep coming back to this, it's only when his trade value keeps getting diminished. I'm like, I understand what he did in that one moment and how it's looking. That doesn't mean he's not an all-star player. Multiple time all-star player and a defensive all-star player. And he's a point guard, and that most people will love that. Like I said, New York Knicks have been searching for a point guard for 2 decades. Ben Simmons is over there unhappy. What would you do for a Klondike bar? And you're right. Philly needs to just go ahead and move him. There's no reason whatsoever why Philly should continue to have him, and they need to move him soon. Because there's no way they should let him sit there for a whole year on the bench. And pay him or fine him or whatever they're doing. Like seriously, move him. Just move him. But again, if the Philly organization is getting offers like what SB said, I can understand why they won't move him. I'm sorry what you guys think, but he's still an all-star defensive player. And when you get him, he's going to be happy, and he's going to play like the guy that had everybody voting for him to be an all-star. He's going to be, you know what I mean? He's going to be that guy that helped him get to all those defensive all-star teams. All those first and second team defense teams. They're going to get that team. For Ben Simmons, for Richard Simmons, and Russell Simmons, those are some major franchises. I don't know if I'm sorry. I don't think I'll trade Ben Simmons for Richard Simmons franchise. But you know what though? If Ben Simmons had the confidence of Richard Simmons, he'll be a much better player. I'll tell you that much. Oh man. I know we're officially in the second hour of the podcast, right? So since we're in the second hour of the podcast, let's go ahead and let's go and stop making fun of Ben Simmons. Let's move around. Let's move away from our pseudo Knicks talk. That's exactly how we got there. But I want you. But you all listen to the podcast. Once again, thank you guys for listening to the podcast. Don't forget to like and share the podcast. Don't forget to like this episode. Share with your friends. Tell them to watch. And please, the sharing part is the real part. Remember, they say sharing is caring. Sharing is the major part, because you know what I mean. Like one person sees it from your page, and that one person shares it to another person. You know what I mean? Like trust me, the shares matter. The shares matter. So since we're talking about sharing and caring, let's get to the real story of the weekend. The what should be the dominant story, probably for the week, at least for 1 week leading up to the Super Bowl, right? Which isn't so half bad, right? You get this story maybe for 1 week or for half a week, and then for the other week or for the other 10 days you get nothing but Super Bowl. Because trust me, to talk Super Bowl for nothing but for 2 weeks, and the pontificate and the what if and the this and the that and the that, blah blah blah. Trust me, I don't got those kind of first take and ESPN resources. For 2 weeks, it's gonna be a lot of basketball talk here. But you guys should have known this already. We do a lot of basketball talk and we would just spent the whole hour of some Knicks talk. Well, and a birthday celebration. And some tea of the weekend. Actually, we ain't spent that long on Knicks talk at all. Shit. Let me get this out of the way before we move on. This week, the New York Knicks play the Sacramento Kings, who they're playing right now, the Memphis Grizzlies, and the LA Lakers. The game that we're going to be looking for the most is going to be that Wednesday game against the Memphis Grizzlies. That game will also be recorded live from Sharky's. Come and join us at Sharky's. It'll be much appreciated. I'm sorry. I've been watching this. I told you guys already. I have been watching this these last two football games over and over and over and over again, all day long. That's all I've been doing. I've been flipping back and forth and just been watching them over and over. I've probably watched each one of them at least 4 to 5 times now. Is that the Knicks game? Is that the Knicks? Oh wait, Raptors Hawks currently going down to the wire, 93-92. So you know what though? Actually, before I get fully into thing, SB, you got a moment to talk? I want to talk some Raptors with you. How are the Raptors doing? How are they looking? Who's been showing improvement? Have you gotten back any key individuals? The trade deadline looming. Are they looking to be to make any improvements or any changes to help bolster this roster? Anything you can tell us in Raptors news?
The talk around town is Masai is looking for a big. I don't know. I probably wouldn't mess with it right now. I don't think one deal is going to get us back to anywhere deep in the playoffs right now. I think a 7-8 seed finish is pretty good for us this year, and I think they should just rock with the young guys they got.
Okay. So you say so your management is possibly looking to go out and get a big, but in your opinion, you would rather them just stay the course and not really tamper with the roster?
Young guy or anything significant for anybody at this point, because I don't think going from a 7 seed to a 5 seed is really worth it at this point.
Okay. Now, who's been standing out so far? Or who's continued to stand out for your Raptors this year?
Pascal's looked great lately.
Who? Say that again?
Pascal's looked great lately. Freddie's been hit and miss. He's been taking a lot of shots, and sometimes that goes well, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay. Pascal Siakam, he's coming back from injury, right?
Been back for a little bit.
Oh, he's been back for a little bit. Okay, so he's starting it. So he's looking like he's starting to knock off some of that injury rust that's starting to get back into that groove, into that shape that he was looking like when you won a championship.
Yeah, I would say that. I think maybe it just took him this extra year to kind of move into his own as the number one guy. But he's back to being a double guy every night. 2010.
So is Pascal your number one guy, or is Fred VanVleet your number one?
Probably a 1-1A situation, but I think that what I like about this team is I think if you ask those guys, they both say the other one.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of unselfishness is always great to have, because you can't fake it. Like, and I think I've said this recently. I don't know if you've heard it, but there's an interview with Fred VanVleet on the All the Smoke podcast. Go ahead and listen to it, because that I ain't gonna lie. Anytime I get a chance to hear a lot of players speak, it helps me gain a little bit more respect for them. Like, some players I don't respect enough, and it helps me get just a little bit more respect for them. Fred VanVleet was one of those guys I didn't respect enough, and I got a little bit more respect for him after listening to that interview. But if you guys want to hear,
you actually told me about that, and I went and listened to it right after that, and it was great. You were right.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. Yeah, like, listen, man. When I catch great interviews, like, there's some really good interviews. Like, even whose interview did I hear recently? Seth Curry's interview. They had an interview with Seth Curry. I said that was Seth Curry. That interview was also very insightful, because, as you know, he didn't have such an easy course to the NBA that his brother did, and hearing his story to where from where he was then to where he is now, that's also a very interesting story to hear as well. I get interested.
On the topic, I don't know if you've ever listened to JJ Redick's podcast, but he had Draymond on the other day, and it was actually really good too.
Is he the old man with the 3? Is it the JJ Redick podcast? Is that what it's called?
Old Man and the 3, I think.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I don't know if I've heard that one, but I'll go back and I'll listen to it, because I know I've recently made sure I added them into my rotation, which is incredible that I was even able to add even more podcasts into my rotation. I really consume probably on a light day, I consume 12 hours of talk radio, in some kind of talk radio, podcast form, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I consume it, but I can't get enough of it though. Like, when there's a light day and I can't find something on, I'm like, yo, really? I only got to listen to 3 podcasts today? That's why I'd be happy for Saturdays and Sundays. I get to catch up on all that stuff I didn't get to catch up in my queue. Pardon My Take is my only can't miss pod. Pardon My Take. I'm gonna have to go listen to that one. I haven't really listened to them.
It's tough to get someone to be into. It's a lot of inside jokes and goofiness, but their interviews with athletes are really good. Okay. Now, let's move over to some football, right? And because I just wanted to make sure that I made sure that we got our Toronto news. And trust me, I'm gonna come back to you when as we talk football, because we haven't had a chance to talk to you really since these playoffs have began. So there's a lot of stuff I want to talk to you about. But there's a lot of moves happening. So there's a lot of stuff I'd like to talk to you about, because a lot of it involves your team. So, see, my phone never misses. But I wasn't joking, phone. But let's get into the talk of the town. Tom Brady is set to retire. And when I tell you, when we saw the games last week, and how those games came down to the wire, was like, yo, this may be the greatest weekend in football ever. And then this weekend came around and said, hold my beer. And then you didn't just get the beer. You know how you do the Coronas, where you get the Corona and you get and then you put the shot of Bacardi Limon in there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, people, you have to go make sure you go do it. You take a Corona and you don't put. You don't fruit your beer. You don't put lemon in there. You drink a beer and you get some Bacardi Limon and you put it in there and you put your thumb on there, swivel that up and down a couple of times, let that soak to the top of the bottom, and you drink that. But that's what this weekend was. It was like hold my beer with a shot on the top. It was like a flaming Mo. Right? Because it was
topped off, and listen, guys, you know me, so do not be surprised by this, but it was topped off by the retirement of Tom Brady. Listen, a wise man once told me, if a beer requires a fruit topping, you need a new beer. Facts. I don't even like putting the lime in my beer. As soon as I'm like, do you want to I don't fruit my beer. I'm okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't like to fruit my beer. Like there's that one beer that comes with the orange in it. It's a Florida beer. I think it's called the Floridian on one of them. I'm just like, what is this? Like what is this swimming in my beer? Like was there a frog on this? Why is there an orange tadpole in my beer? But folks, Tom Brady unofficially, right? Announces his retirement. It was announced by we got an atom bomb, right? That Tom Brady was announcing his retirement, but then we got another report later on that he has informed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization that he hasn't quite figured it out yet. But pretty much everybody is saying that Tom Brady's retirement. You know what's weird? We were talking about this last week before this happened, and that's the reason why I'm not surprised that he called his retirement. Because when I heard Gronk and all these other guys' retirement, we came right here on the podcast, and we wouldn't be surprised if Tom Brady retired, and we wouldn't be surprised that if he wasn't planning on retirement after this season anyway. Because just think, and I just thought about it in weird sports think-isms, right? Because the way the sports brain works is that I like to go out on top if I can. That's one. Right? But then there's also the added of, when you win a championship, you gotta run it back and win another one. So you gotta at least defend it, and you gotta try to win another one. So I wasn't surprised that Tom Brady actually got retired this year, because this is running back from last year's Super Bowl, and while he would like to have gone back on top, him losing shows that, you know what, like, I think I may be kind of done here. I hope he's not pulling the Brett Favre shit, where like, I'm retired, I'm not retired, I'm retired, I'm not retired. Oh, I didn't say I was retired, I just said I was tired. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't say I was tired, I said I need a tire. Like, you know what I mean? Like he don't like I hope he doesn't do that shit. But Tom Brady retires after 22 years. Drafted in 2000, sixth round pick number 99. He retires after 7 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowl MVPs. Hold on, let me get a little. Let's get a little action in this. Right, 7 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowl MVPs, 3 MVPs, 2 Offensive Players of the Year, 1 Comeback Player of the Year, 3-time first team, 3-time second team, 15-time Pro Bowler, 5-time touchdown leader, 4-time passing yard leader, 2-time passing yard rating leader, 2-time completion percentage leader, 2000 All-Decade, the 2000 All-Decade team, 2010 All-Decade team unanimously decided, All-Time 100 unanimously decided, AP Male Athlete of the Year, National Championship, 2-time AP Male Athlete of the Year. He also holds the record for most wins by a quarterback with 243, most passing attempts with 11,317, most passing completion with 7,263, most passing touchdowns with 624, most career passing yards with 84,520. God damn, right? And most passing completions with 485. He has a completion percentage of 64.2% and a passing rating of 97.6. The Tom Brady will leave this game being known as one of the greatest. He is one of the GOATs of the game, even though there's one stat I forgot to mention. Oh yeah, there's also 3 scandals. And as I said earlier, if you missed it, as we thank Tom Brady, you guys must also remember that
I'm from New York, and you know what? Tom Brady's a fucking bitch.
So as we thank Tom Brady, I would also like to take this time to also send a special thanks to Aaron Donald, to Bernard Paula, Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, Antonio Brown, Von Miller, Jimmy Garoppolo, Matt Castle, Nick Folk, Tom Coughlin, and more importantly,
Bing bong.
Eli Manning. I'm petty like that. What's up, baby?
Baby, can you buy me a new phone?
Hell no.
Do you guys see how he treats me? My phone's broken, and he broke my phone, right? And he refused to replace it. He's a monster.
Make sure you show the people down here.
Oh.
No, this is the camera. This is the
Look
camera.
what he did to my phone. He did that, and he won't buy it back. And I'm sick of him. Yeah, look what he did. Sick of him. All right.
Listen, it wasn't my
Tom
fault.
Brady's a fucking bitch. Come on, let's go.
You say, what's up, sugars? It wasn't my fault. She came home at 3 o'clock in the morning. I got upset and I broke her phone. Like, it had
Abusive. And I'm supposed to stay with him?
I'm
I'm supposed to stay with this nigga? What the fuck?
Come here, let me bite a titty.
Nah, fuck that shit. I'm trying to smoke right now. What's up? Roll that shit up.
Now, guys, you know this is all strictly for comedy. None of those events occurred in the way that we said it. Okay, like the phone is broken, but that's the only real thing that we said. Okay, I don't need y'all calling like the NAACP on us. Like, Al Sharpton, go get him. We got some black on black violence at this location. But if you guys would like me to be honest and take off my petty hat for a second, Tom Brady has definitely made a significant
Impact.
contribution to the game of football. He's not so bad of a player. Damn, this is harder than I thought. It's very hard to try to talk serious about Tom Brady. Oh man, like this is a whole lot better when I'm saying this shit sarcastically. But he won some games. He got some rings. He cheated he cheated for a couple of like fuck that shit. Like okay, he got 7 rings, but he cheated for that. He cheated for at least 3 of them shit. And
TTV to HDMI 1.
You gotta turn the Xbox on first. Oh, okay. Give it a while. Give it a second. Try to get like 30 seconds.
WikiHow.com, they say, switch to the HDMI
So,
source on your TV.
listen, in all seriousness, while Tom Brady has done some great things for the game of football, we also feel like he's also cheated the game of football. He also cheated the game of football by also.
The right port number. Once you reach the correct source.
Okay, Google,
you should see
pause. I don't care about none of that shit. I'm trying to talk over here. Go over to the other side until you find my name. There you go. Alright, so while Tom Brady has done a bunch of things to contribute to the game of football, he just put up some incredible numbers and won a bunch of championships, has been to a bunch of Super Bowls. We also feel like he's cheated for a whole bunch of them. Let's not forget that the game of when he won his first Super Bowl, that they decided to untuck a rule that we've never heard of ever in our life. The tuck it rule. Where the fuck they untuck that
There's a
shit
glitch.
from?
Try again.
Nobody
in a few
cares,
seconds.
Google. Shut the fuck up. Talking over here. Bada bing, bada boom, I'm the one talking in the room. How you doing? Right, so Google over here acting up. I'm gonna have to break her phone too.
See? See, I'm trying to tell y'all. I know y'all believe me now.
listen, his first Super Bowl, they untucked the rule that nobody had ever heard of. Then after that, we found out that they had been false. They had been recording other teams' practices when they shouldn't have been doing that. Then after that, we found out that he had been deflating footballs for years up on end. So like, listen, switching phones back in a minute. Got you, SB. So while he's also done a whole bunch of things, we also believe that a lot of his Super Bowls may have also tainted, right? Or a lot of his winning may also be tainted as well. I can't skip over all of the cheating scandals that he was involved in. And then when he was done with this cheating scandals in New England, he had to go get a super. See, we talk about super teams, right? All the time in the NBA, and I'm glad I ain't the only person that talked about super teams because I heard a little bit of First Take today. Ooh, that booty big. Right? I heard First Take today. And I heard them talking about the super team that LA Rams have. But I didn't hear no talks about the super team that Tom Brady had last year when he was over there winning. Nah, they were just reveling in his greatness. They were just slurping up all the greatness that's supposed to be Tom Brady. Fuck Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a fucking bitch. How about that? That's that's how I feel about that. So he went to Tampa Bay, which we all knew was a stacked team. We had Jameis Winston throwing 5,000 yards on that goddamn team while he was still throwing fucking 40 passes to the other team. That's the reason why as soon as they got Tom Brady, we were like, well, shit. If he decides to only throw 20 balls to the other team, they could probably win a fucking Super Bowl. He had it in the bag. He took the fucking easy route. So I don't want to hear that shit. Yeah, he may have done some things, but fuck Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a fucking bitch. I don't care fuck about his legacy whatsoever. He gonna go down in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, but what's a goon to a goblin? You understand? What's a king to a god? What's a god to a non-believer who don't believe in anything he's done? I'm just saying. But the great Tom Brady has retired, folks. So we're going to give him his roses. And with those roses, we're going to make sure he feel those thorns too. Fuck out of here. Fuck you thought this was. Listen, we've had some great things. And that was just the top portion of what really capped off this weekend. We had some really great football. We had some really good football that went on this weekend. We had Cincinnati take on Kansas City, and we had the San Francisco 49ers take on the LA Rams. And we came on here last week and we said, I'm here for the chaos. I'm here for the chaos. And part of that chaos was I didn't believe that San Francisco could beat the LA Rams in this scenario, but I did believe that Cincinnati could beat Kansas City. And man, can I tell you now, the young quarterbacks that are in this AFC that are gonna be sharpening their game against each other for the next 5 to 10 years, I am excited to see. While all of these old vets are going to be moving around trying to find their little last dance, you know, they get their little last swan song, the Russell Wilsons and the greatest and the greatest regular season quarterback ever, Aaron Rodgers, which, yes, that's who I'm calling him now. I'm telling you, people, you decide to be disrespectful when you want to. I'm disrespectful all the time, right? Like when Peyton, you understand, like you called Peyton Manning the greatest regular season quarterback of all time. Au contraire, mon frère, he may be the second greatest regular season quarterback of all time. Officially, right now, as it stands, this now goes to Aaron Rodgers. He's no longer A-Rod. He only gets one A. He I don't know where all those extra A's is coming from anymore. He ain't done no extra shit. One A. That's all I see on his finger. Like when I see him, it's A. It's not A. A. Like you know what I mean? Like you respond to his one ring like you respond to a chick with no booty. Like, Hey. I was responding to my girl's booty, by the way. That shit bigger than a motherfucker. I'm just saying. What? You know, I can go that long. I almost passed out. I'm seeing stars right now.
You're really nuts.
Yes. I told you I was a squirrel.
Trying to chase a nut?
Listen, I am what I eat.
Trying to chase a nut?
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting. Pitiful.
So, you know what was pitiful?
Tom Brady.
That Kansas City and Cincinnati. Now, while these games were good, right? Because okay, so let's back up a little bit. Last week's games was good. This week's games did not disappoint. And you know the funny thing about it? No, I can't say. I didn't hear anybody speak with confidence that they thought this week's games were going to live up in any way, shape, or form to last week's. And yet we're over here holding our beer. Yet we're right here holding. I don't got a beer today. I got water. I'm hydrating like a motherfucker. You know what I mean, the ticker it's been populating or whatever. You know what I mean? So like, I'm drinking water right now. So they held up. We're sitting here and we're talking about 2 games that were decided by a last play, a last kick, and we had an overtime. We basically got exactly what we got last week in condensed form. And Tom Brady retired. And I'm never going to stop being happy about that because
I'm from New York, and you know what? Tom Brady's a fucking bitch.
And you know what? Just because I'm a New Yorker and I see that Ronnie's in the room, I got you, Ronnie.
Yo, you thought Trae Young was still good, right? Fuck Trae Young! Fuck Trae Young! Fuck Trae Young! Fuck Trae Young!
Yo, you know what? I'm actually kind of mad I didn't take the Bengals on those odds. Yo, you were here telling us about. It's crazy. It was just so crazy. Like this. You know, here comes SB. Yeah, oh, definitely. But you know what though? I was fully on board when I saw Cincinnati and Jacksonville play. When I saw those 2 teams play, I was like, oh, these 2 quarterbacks are for real. Like, believe it or not, like, hopefully Sunshine learns from this. Like her learns from this last year. Because Sunshine seems like the truth too. But SB, seriously, you know what? We give you all your props, SB. We give you all your props. You definitely would have made us all 100,000 if we would have listened to you.
To be fair, I said this team might make the playoffs. I don't exactly want to take credit for saying they were going to the Super Bowl, but
Hey, like, I don't have anything for Cincinnati, but
Cleveland! This is for you!
so it's as close as I got for Ohio, okay? Oh man, listen, you're right. Staff, like this is like, all in all, right? As we all know by now who's the matchup, right? So we'll get into those 2 games a little bit later, right? As I already see talks picking up in the chat about Matthew Stafford's time. You are right. Stafford is. Oh, Shugs, can you unlock the door downstairs? Thank you. KJ's down there at the door.
Okay.
Damn, I can go for a drink too. If he has a drink, tell him to pour me one. You're right. I think that Stafford is a little overdue. Can Stafford win rookie? Can Stafford win rookie of the year? It's his first season on the NFL team. Okay, let me see if I can say this in the straight. The question came in: can Stafford win rookie of the year? It's his first season on an NFL team. That's funny, SB. Matthew Stafford is overdue. I'm gonna tell you right now. There's 2 things. There's 2 things that's happening right now. I'm happy that Tom Brady isn't in the Super Bowl, right? Which means that I really don't have anybody to root against. there are tons of reasons why I want Matthew Stafford to win, and there's tons of reasons why I want Joe Burrow to win. The number one reason I would want Matthew Stafford is because you keep saying, yeah, he is overdue. He's been suffering over there in Detroit. Well, we know Detroit is where legacies go to die. Detroit is where Hall of Famers retire early. Like, thank God Matthew Stafford got here early, because he probably would have retired in 3 years. And we would have thought of Matthew Stafford lesser, like, even though he probably is just as good as him, we would have thought about Matthew Stafford lesser than we think about Phillip Rivers. Because of how Detroit consumes players. Detroit basketball. I'm just fucking joking. Listen, Listen, Bills fans and Bengals fans. Oh, okay, you have the Joe Cool. Oh yeah, you guys, they picked somebody up from crap. I forget his name. Joe. I feel like he has a last name of somebody that I hate. Damn it. Joe. Oh no. Oh, you talking about Joe Burrow? Oh, I thought you talking. I was talking about Cincinnati's head coach. I'm trying to remember what his name was. That's what I thought you was talking about. Zach Taylor. Ah, there we go. He. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why this is funny, because that's also my last name. He does have the last name of somebody that I hate. And I'm not making it personal when I'm saying my father here, but I was talking about actual football player, and it's Zach Taylor. Because isn't Zach Taylor, wasn't he the defensive end for the Miami Dolphins? Right? His daughter's on Fox, right? Or his sister's on Fox. Isn't that Zach Taylor? Not this Zach Taylor, but wasn't that guy's name also Zach Taylor? Jason Taylor. Oh, not even close. Shit, okay. See, this whole time, every time I've heard Zach Taylor's name, I kept on thinking Jason Taylor. Wait, does he look like Jason Taylor then? Do they look alike? Or do they favor each other? Because every time I've heard the name and I saw him, I thought Jason Taylor. A little whiter, but okay. So maybe he resembles him without a tan, because Jason Taylor cannot get a tan. I mean, he played in South Florida. He was benefiting from that South Florida weather. Let him have played in Cleveland his whole career, or in Cincinnati. We'll see how he would have been looking. I know a lot of pale Puerto Ricans in New York. Shout out to Sensei. Don't tell Natalie I'm talking about her. Oh man, Joy Taylor makes me tolerate Colin Kerr while we're on the subject. Yes. You watch with the sound off. Oh no, yeah, Joy Taylor is pretty dope. Like, honestly, yeah, I think everybody always keeps correcting me, because I swear I thought she was his daughter, and I was like, damn, he got a daughter that old? Is she that fine? Like, fuck. Like, it makes me always wonder like who his mama was, but then when I found out like, oh, that's his sister, I'm like, okay, this makes a little bit more sense. So as we get back into this football talk, yeah, there's the side of me that would like to see Matthew Stafford win one, because he has been paying his dues. He has that's all it is. He's paid his dues in Detroit. Like, if playing in Detroit for a decade isn't paying your dues in the NFL, I don't know what paying your dues is. And Matthew Stafford isn't a bum quarterback. Like I said, if he didn't do what he's doing right now, we would probably consider Phillip Rivers better than him. And I may think that they're probably a little bit more on par if Matthew Stafford isn't better. Now, whether you disagree or agree with that, I can't really. I won't fight you on it. But one of the things I can tell you about Matthew Stafford has one of the prerequisite skills that I want for all of my quarterbacks, which is, and we've talked about prerequisite skills for positions. Remember, we went down the line some time ago, and we said, well, if I want a tight end, I want his prerequisite skill to he played basketball. I don't give a fuck about anything else. If you're a tight end, I want you to have played basketball. If you're an offensive line or a defensive lineman, I want you to have wrestled, or I've gone to the Gracie School of Jiu-Jitsu. You understand? Like, I want you to have taken something grappling as a secondary. Running backs, wide receivers, track and field, things like that. You know, hopefully maybe even tennis or something other that really would have taught you footwork. My quarterbacks, baseball. I want you to have been a pitcher at some point in time. So you understand launch angles or different release angles. Like remember, we went through this, and I'm telling you this. I don't like if I could be a general manager for a team, there are certain I don't care how good or what you're doing or whatever. There are certain skills I'm looking for every position, and if you don't have that, I probably won't even fuck with you. I don't care. I'm passing on you because I want that hidden skill. I want that hidden talent. I want that hidden gem. Like, I'm sorry. I want that. I want that prize in my box of Cracker Jacks. Like, I want that shit. I need that shit. What's going on, Chill Will? Yo, we get all the drunk uncles in the building today. It's about to be a show. I see you guys are here for Monday. Because I'm telling you, man, this is what happens. This is what happens when there's a big weekend, when there's a big event that happens on the weekend. Everybody shows up for Monday. Like, see, if you guys don't like your Mondays, then you gotta find a better Monday. Or a better job for a Monday. Which, can I tell you, that whole Monday thing, it really is a psychological thing. I used to have an office job where I worked Monday, Tuesday, I was off on Wednesday, and then I worked again on Thursday, Friday, and I was off on Saturday and Sunday. Can I tell you, Monday never felt like Monday? No day ever felt like Monday. Every day felt like Thursday and Friday. Like, it was either the day before the next day of work or was the next day before I'm off. Like, it was every day felt like Thursday and Friday. It was never too much, which I'm telling you right now. Like, if I ever had my own, I had to run a, I think I would switch to 4 10-hour days. Like we're breaking up shit in the middle. Like I'll leave it for a few people that want that conventional 9 to 5, and for those few people that want the conventional 9 to 5, you'll be the people that work on Wednesdays. All days are the same. Listen, I do deliveries. Like, ask my girl how many times I ask her what's today. Like, every day is today. I run into people and they be like, "Oh shit, blah, blah, blah." I be like, "Oh, where are we? Where am I close to?" like, listen, I have no clue where I'm at right now. I just follow the directions. Where am I at? Where did I just run into you at? So I fully understand that one. Listen. That's now. But even now, it's weird because in an office working 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, I understand how people feel about Monday. When I had that Wednesday off, I didn't have that Monday effect. Now when I'm in a position where I basically work every single day and every day just kind of runs into each other, I don't even know what day is Monday to complain about Monday. The only reason why I know it's Monday is I'm like, it's podcast day. And when it's podcast day, I'm excited. I don't have a time to register what a Monday is. Like I said, I barely know what day is actually a day. KJ! Oh shit, KJ with the drip. Oh shit. As we drink to the retirement of Tom Brady. Because
Brady ain't never retiring, bro.
Because I eat goat for lunch. Just to let you guys know. I eat goat for dinner over here. Literally. Yo, you know what? Chill. Yeah, I ain't just gonna let you sneak into the room like that. You know what I mean? Like let's go ahead and get Chill into the
drop takes, don't you? Drop takes, don't you?
Sir, yes, sir!
Well, if you gonna drop takes, you might as well go ahead and drop them exhibitiously.
Cleveland! This is for you! Cincinnati, this is for you.
As our Ohio representative on everything Ohio, we got Chill Will up in the
Ohio correspondent.
Yeah,
our senior Ohio correspondent.
He is our senior Ohio correspondent.
Slash drunk uncle. Slash drunk uncle.
He's our Cleveland drunk uncle correspondent. Okay.
Bro. That's not that Cincinnati don't even like us.
Listen, I know. I already know you guys probably have a beef. I can figure that much. But that's being nice. But it has to be good to have a nice little healthy beef. Bro. Yeah, and you're in the same division. That sucks too. And you're in the same division.
No, I don't mind. Like I'm cool with Cincinnati. Everything about Cincinnati, actually, I root for Cincinnati. Like that was my college team in basketball when I was growing up. That was Ohio State was my football team, but Cincinnati was, Cincinnati.
What's their mascot's name?
40, so.
Cincinnati what?
So that was the Bearcats, bro.
Bearcats, okay.
You know how that college goes with T, man. You know how that goes.
Listen. Yes, and also for anybody that may not know, sometimes we have to just but also I didn't know. I couldn't remember. No, like I was thinking meerkat, but I'm like, no, there's no team with a meerkat. I don't think there's any meerkats at.
What the fuck?
Meerkat.
Coach Hud was there for how long? How long was Coach Hud there? He was there for a minute, man. You should know.
The only thing so my first knowledge, even of anything college and Ohio, was your boy.
Damn, I forgot you at college.
Was your boy Buddy, with the cheers.
That's Indiana, bro.
Oh, was that Indiana?
Man.
Oh,
You're not
shit.
even in the ball.
Oh shit, that was Indiana.
Man.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
That's the legendary.
Bobby Huggins. You get Bobby Huggins.
Bobby Knight. There we
go. Bobby Knight confused, bro. Their name is Bobby. That's
God. Yo.
Well, I guess they kind of look. I guess he relate. He could. I guess. Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, but they kind of angry. Both. Yeah, I could see it. But Bobby Knight is a great, bro. What the fuck? Like Bobby Knight is.
He's known for basketball, bro. Period. Not even just.
It's Bobby Knight, one of the greatest.
I just couldn't remember his name at the time.
All time.
Listen. If it wasn't for if it wasn't, see, this is when.
But you remember him for throwing a goddamn chair.
No. Bobby, no. That's the thing that most people probably would remember him for if they don't know him for anything else. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
if it wasn't for because Bobby Knight in a weird way, and I don't think I'm not gonna say what I think I am. Bobby Knight in a weird way, right? He got caught up in a time change, I think. You know what I mean? Like, how sometimes you just like the times change and you get caught right there in the middle.
Definitely.
Like he got caught up in a time change where you could be like that with players, and then it was still kind of okay, but not kind of okay, and then he just kind of just kept on being that habitual line stepper. It's like, all right, fuck, like. We don't mind you yelling at them, but you can't be throwing that cheers, and now because you throwing cheers, now we can't even yell at these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like, so he caught up in a. It's like when office sexual harassment changed, and that one guy that just couldn't quite get it. You know what I mean? Like that was Bobby Knight. Like if it wasn't for that, he would be known for a whole lot more greater things in basketball than his anger management issues, technically. But
they had some ballers though coming from Cincinnati. That's why I would figure you should know. You know what I'm saying?
And I was trying to remember who they were.
I think Danny Forson went there. Jason Maxwell. And my guy, Ruben Patterson. Who else went there?
That was
Van Axel, my guy.
Golden Trailblazer, right?
Van Axel. Kenyon Martin.
Didn't Lance go there?
Kenyon Martin. Okay. Yes, that's who I'm thinking. See,
Kenyon didn't go to Cincinnati.
He didn't go. He was in a Honey Badger.
Steve Logan. My homie I went to school with. I went to school with Steve Logan. He had a stint in the league too. Oscar Robertson, the great, the all-time great, top 10, some top 5 that line.
Oscar Robertson is still one of. It's still. It's like put it this way. Oscar Robertson, to me, is the greatest player that I've never seen play.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
that shit crazy. They show him like on what's that show with Ahmad Rashad?
Inside the NBA? The original Inside
Oh, whatever, yeah. It's always going to be inside the NBA. Whatever he had.
Him on
whatever Ahmad Rashad does. Listen, Ahmad Rashad could be like, you know what, I'm doing stand-up comedy. What's he doing inside the NBA?
He was on there some shit like that, show like that. And he was shooting like behind the backboard corner shots. He went all the way to the corner and he was shooting them bitches underhand. Like as a hook, and was netting them bitches every single time. This shit was the most unreal shit I was at like fucking 65 or something. It was unreal, bro.
Wait, Lance Stevenson went there? Yeah. Mr. Lance Can Make You Dance? That's my favorite college now. Lance is my dude, man. Lance is such I am such a Lance. That's probably why I also have a special place in my heart, probably for Jalen and Jacoby, because as nobody else is a Lance Stevenson fan. Nobody else in the world is a Lance Stevenson fan except for them. But Lance Stevenson, I'm gonna say Lance Stevenson because they're from Brooklyn. I don't know why they're a Lance Stevenson fan. I'm a Lance Stevenson fan because he's from Brooklyn and he was fucking with LeBron. He's like, yo, fuck him. I was like, yo, you can't be doing that shit, but that's some shit a Brooklyn nigga would do. I'm gonna untie your shoelaces on the court. That's some shit a Brooklyn.
I was flaming that nigga for a good 2 days. I said, no, that nigga did not do that gay ass shit on national television.
Do you know there was zero Russian touchdowns in that Kansas City and Cincinnati game? 0 Russian touchdowns. Not one.
Man, I felt like it was something weird, man. Like, bro, you know something about this game? How did people overrate Cincinnati? Probably, I love Cincinnati. Really, to be honest, they made it. I think Joe Burrow is probably the next, Tom Brady-ish kind of guy.
He's one of the next.
But the thing is,
there was no Russian touchdowns. Period.
I'm saying no.
What is the problem?
There was no Russian touchdowns.
He's more like
period.
He's probably closer to like more than just Tom
there was
Brady.
one.
He's probably more like Joe Montana.
No.
It's probably gonna be the one like Joe Montana or something like
Kelsey, Hill, Hardman. No, you're right. There wasn't.
In any game.
Holy shit.
Games, no Russian touchdowns.
There was no Russian touchdowns all weekend.
Unless you want to count Deebo Samuel's little swing pass for 44 yards.
No, it didn't count as a Russian touchdown.
Mm.
Actually, let me see here.
And it's crazy because they got Joe Mixon.
No, yeah, they gave it to him as a Russian touchdown.
They gave it to him as a passing touchdown.
No, wait. 4 for 7. No, you're right. Passing. No rushing. 7 for 26 on rushing. So, that Cincinnati Kansas City game. Game-changing moment. When Kansas City went for that score at the end of the first quarter.
No, the game-changing moment was the last 2 minutes where Patrick Mahomes, he is the new Brett Favre. He fucked himself out of a second.
Well, that is something different.
Championship.
Okay. So we all got different. So we all got different moments.
If you want to call that play game-changing moment, fine. What I think that play was.
No, it's two.
No, what that play was to me was the start, because you can see in the second half he was chasing that play back.
Okay, so
everything he did from there, he literally how he was playing first half and the week before, he went back to the Patrick that was struggling in terms of pushing, pressing, looking for the big play, not taking what the defense gives you, because he was spending too much trying to chase them 7 points back.
I don't think that was that. Just he made bad decisions.
It's okay. 1 second. So I'm gonna set this up. I'm gonna throw this up for everybody. It's okay. There's about to be 3 different layups, and I'm throwing one off the backboard to myself as well. SB, you up for 1 too. Mark, I don't know where you're at, but you're down somewhere. So go ahead and you can start banging your pots and pans. You know what I mean? Miami style. Viva la Miami. Right? Okay. So it sounds like we all got different game-changing moments. Who wants to go first about their game-changing moment?
I already told mine,
so. Okay, so KJ. Okay, you know what? Because I like my game-changing moment happened first, and it's not like yours is a little bit afterwards. And you know what? Perfect. I know I'm gonna do this. So my game-changing moment, I thought, was right at the half, and that was when Kansas City had the opportunity to go up. What was it? 10-24.
Mm-hmm.
Basically 2 touchdowns,
mm-hmm.
and instead they decided to go for the touchdown on some quirky shit, spin move, you know what I mean? Swing pass, you do it behind them, spin move, try to get it. And part of the reason why I said that was probably it because Kansas City had been rolling all first half. When I talk about them rolling, they were rolling with ease. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes. Like, listen, Patrick, we call Patrick, your end zone is my homes. Well, Cincinnati, and Joe Burrow came on there and said, step on my property if you want to.
Okay, so I got two things to say
I'm
about that.
not done. I'm sorry, I'm not quite done yet. I'm just getting started. Patrick Mahomes is out there in the beginning, from the very beginning, throwing touchdowns on the move. You know what I mean? Throwing floaters. You know what I mean? Like he was throwing dimes like it was nothing. And then Cincinnati and then they go for it right at the half. And I could probably understand Kansas City's thinking, you know what? Let's go for it here. We're also getting the ball back. So if we score here, we also could probably double down. What they probably should have realized is that they should have scored there. And he scored there. Right? But they figured we get a touchdown here, we come back. Because if they do get a touchdown there, it probably is deflating to Cincinnati. And if they come back and score another touchdown, bam, that game is a wrap. Right?
Oh, yeah.
But a stop there in the other direction. Cincinnati gets that stop. That defense now is like, you know what? We've been breaking all first half. Now we ain't break this time. We just bend a little. We snap back. Smack you right in the nose. Not this time. Learn your lesson. And then what happens when they come back from the half, Kansas City gets the ball back, and Kansas City thinks they're about to march down the field. Snap. We ain't breaking anymore. We bend it. We snap back. Smack you in the nose. Bad boy. Learn your lesson. And from that moment, it's been a struggle. 3 points. 3 points after that. 3 points Kansas City scored after that. After having 21 in the first half. You realize the last time we kind of seen this kind of debacle, we make fun of Atlanta and we haven't stopped. Patrick Mahomes is lucky he won one already. He's already lucky that he already pulled off his Drake. All I need is one time because one time is fine with me. He's going the Aaron Rodgers route. Granted, he's young. And we know he's ready. But it's kind of hard to get back there. Ask Aaron Rodgers. And if you don't believe Aaron Rodgers, ask Dan Marino. I think that was the game-changing moment to me. You thought, KJ, it was kind of subsequent after that. That after that fuck up, it was now like, fuck, we fucked up there. So now we just kind of just chase it. We're pressing now. We're pressing. So now we're trying.
Cincinnati also changed their defense now. In
Watch
terms
that.
of how they rushed.
Yeah.
Remember, in the first half, they were rushing to get him, and then he's stepping up the pocket. The defenders are way behind, so he was doing all the scrambling and shit. Second half, they played in terms of, they played coverage mainly, but the front 4 or 3, or the couple times they even sent 5, they sat back. They played contained. The lineman did to keep him in the pocket. Or negate all that scrambling shit. And then the DBs, phenomenal job second half. Granted, there were a couple drops, Kelsey, that happened. That first drive, he dropped one that he normally catches and whatnot. And then, like I said, Mahomes, from the moment that stop happened at halftime, it just seemed like that whole talk, that whole everything about patience and taking what the defense gives you just completely went out the door. Completely went out the door. It was literally as if I was watching the Patrick Mahomes that was struggling against Tennessee and the Giants and a couple other teams when they were 3 and 4 or something like that.
Would you say this is probably, and so you can go back. It's probably like when your muscle memory kicks in. Like you go back to like your old habits. Like you've been practicing how to do this, but in the moments when it's fight or flight and you're fully not responding, old habits.
But the crazy thing, this might be one of the craziest times because of the fact that it was first half. It's like, yo, this team can't do no more. Like, I'm getting ready because I'm like, even though when it was 21-3, I'm like, I know Cincinnati gonna make a run. But the fact that Kansas City in the second half, that was a completely different team I saw out there. Just keeping it real.
Listen, they went.
Like, when it was 21-3, I expected Cincinnati to make a comeback. I just didn't expect Kansas City to not be able to.
You know who they look like?
Anything at all.
They look like those teams in New Jersey. And we see in the comments, I see you, Ronnie. They're like but you know what? You're right. The league has figured out Mahomes. He said he think the league has figured out Mahomes. The league, and listen, I'm gonna tell you this. The league
has figured out Mahomes. We were just a week ago talking about how he was throwing for 350, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, game-winning touchdown pass.
Well,
let me shit.
Listen, he's not that far off. And you admitted to that already. You admitted to it already. Because remember, he had to make an adjustment. And if he doesn't play, if he plays like old Patrick Mahomes, they figured out old Patrick Mahomes.
What it is Patrick is not alone on that mountain right now. That's all it is. You looking behind you, you see Allen is right there.
But
Burrow is right there. Herbert is right there.
Yo.
With speeding bullets.
Lamar Jackson
is right there.
He's here.
With speeding bullets.
Like, so you know what? And I wish I had one of my friends on here. Okay.
Who the motherfucker?
I think that's Chill Will moving furniture. He must be wearing his phone like it's a wear on mic. I muted you, by the way, Chill Will. All I hear is just shit moving against your triple goose. Just.
My bad.
Sorry. I know that's a triple goose I'm hearing if I move against. Like I know what that sounds like. That's definitely a goose. That's some kind of bubble coat.
Big ass. Got one of them big ass bean bags.
The big ass rubber bean bags. Where you just sinking the shit.
Listen, I know what those. I don't know why, but I know what those motherfuckers sound like.
Yo. Hey, but look,
sorry. Let's go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead. So, Chill Will, you said your moment was.
First of all, it was a couple moments, but the one that you mentioned was important. And I don't think it was no one moment. I think the main thing was Patrick Mahomes vices his virtue. So what happens in these games when they start off like this, and typically, especially in professional games, you have to watch it. When it's like 30 to 15, 40 to 15 first quarter in basketball, or even like 3 touchdown lead in the first half, depending on who's playing, the other team, I tend to make money off these games because I was like, all right, the other team probably going to either lose by 3 or end up winning the game because they play too loose. You get too comfortable. We've been here before. It's Cincinnati. It's like you play Cincinnati.
It's like you play prevent
same
everything.
old Cincinnati, right? No, but I ain't prevent. It's not. I'm not taking them seriously.
Yeah,
anymore.
you don't get attacking.
We won a game. Yeah, it's just a habit. It's the hardest thing is to win games like these, and people don't even understand that.
It is.
If you ever look like, it's because you just get comfortable. Like the other, it's hard to keep 30 motherfuckers on defense and offense locked in after they see 3 touchdown, 4 touchdown leads.
And it just seems
and that's
easy.
the problem. That's the problem
because you have your few just athletic knuckleheads that now they get into celebration mode.
Right, and they get taken for granted, and that's what Mahomes.
We know those guys.
Mahomes just thought it was another party out there.
Antonio
he just thought it was another game, another party out there.
Mahomes and Kelsey out there
he had it in
shimmying
the
and
bag.
shit.
But they can get back refocused though. Those guys can't.
But I'm gonna tell you how I know this.
No, finish SB. You know what?
I'm gonna tell you how I know this.
Shimmy.
I'm gonna tell you how I know this real quick. At the end of the play, at the end of the half, like you said, that whole series, how it went. Mahomes' decision making was horrible. On the other side, Joe Burrow's was different. The game changing play was Perrine when he made that touchdown because it showed that Cincinnati can get on the board. That was the first game changing play. Okay. Like Perrine making that 40-yard touchdown was awesome for Cincinnati because like, oh shit, we finally got on the board. Now let's go.
I'm in love
with Burrow seen that. Like, all right, we can't score.
Now, yo.
So you go in the second half.
I love orange.
You get that game ending. Whatever the fuck that was mismanaged. That's why Andy Reid, for me, I know he's great, but he's overrated. That's bad decision by Mahomes and Andy Reid. And Mahomes, he's putting his hands in Mahomes. Mahomes consistently makes bad decisions. And that will happen at the end of the half. I mean, at the end of the game. That last 2-minute sequence was horrible. Everything about that was horrible, bro. Like, they could have ran the ball more. It's like things that just is horrible. And Mahomes running around, that shit's cool until it's not. You can play around, and you can be loose until it's time to play. Now it's too late because Burrow, Cool Joe was locked in at that point, and every great decision he made, Mahomes did. So yeah, that was pretty much what happened.
And smoking Joe Burrow, he's a statue quarterback, in a sense. Like he stands right there and he delivers. He does though. He will move, but he's still a pocket quarterback. He is though.
Understand how this shit is,
but
bro.
he can
He's
move.
mobile, but you gotta understand how this shit is, bro. His line is like probably football focused. He's probably got the
Yo.
He's got 24, 22.
Can I tell you?
He's got one of the bottom half line.
Can I tell you right now? Joe Burrow fucked up so many organizations, and so many benefit of the doubt narratives that are used for so many. Yo,
that is over.
I don't.
But I need you to understand it's not over.
No. I know it's not over.
Like I need you to understand.
Yo,
because it's the same.
You realize
it's the same.
One of the two oh shit. Okay, so we're on Podbean. Just let you guys know we just lost the Podbean feed, and I meant to fucking and let them know. I hate my website. It just popped in like 6 minutes ago. It's okay. I knew I wasn't using it today. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and play a commercial for everybody else that's listening through alternative methods. And during that, we will go ahead and get the Podbean people back in here. Hopefully, they realize that they're no longer there.
To win championships or become famous. They join because there is important work to be done, and only some able to do it. They are brighter, better educated, led, and equipped.
Can I realize I told you? I realized I'm telling my kids to go into the Coast Guard.
Doctors,
when I tell them to go to the military.
Engineers, technologists,
because
combat troops.
At least that way you get a coast.
For whatever comes their way.
There's no coast in the army.
Find them where the lights don't flash.
There's no coast in the Air Force. You get some coast and you get to be there for like 12 years, 10 years, 8 years.
One day they may be asked what they did to make a difference.
Ron that joins the podcast. That nigga was stationed right here for a decade.
I became a soldier.
While I had probably been to at least 8 different places already in 7 years. He was right here. And we are back with the MyT Sports Podcast. I'm still your host, the one and only Donald Tomar Taylor. Yes, if you guys were listening to us through the Podbean app and now came back in other words, as you guys know, after about 2 hours, we lose the feed in Podbean, and we have to go ahead and restart a new one. If you guys will rejoin right back on the feed, if you're gonna call in, remember that's how the call-ins come in. Go ahead and start listening to the Podbean app if you would like to go in and call back into the podcast. For everybody that was listening, you was hearing a take by one of our drunk uncles, Chill Will, one of our senior Cleveland or senior Ohio correspondents, as we like to
/ drunk uncle number 4.
Yeah, listen, he's definitely the first remote drunk uncle. He is the original remote drunk uncle for real, and he don't even drink. So remember that he a drunk uncle. He don't even drink. All right, and we have our drunk uncle across the border coming back to us. SB, he's our Toronto Raptors and Buffalo Bill correspondent. Don't worry, we still got some more football to talk with you personally. A lot of shit with you. Personally. Personally.
I felt that you told me I was next up and then dropped the podcast. Don't think I don't know what you did.
I didn't drop the podcast. Podbean dropped the podcast, and that's a 2-hour limit. Okay. So we don't have Chill Will right now. Can I tell you? Okay. So I've only drank this much of my drink.
And you feeling that, huh?
I hate you. I hate you. Like, because what did you fill it up to? Like, I hate you. Like, it's really. Like,
see,
I've only had like. I can feel my tongue getting loose.
But see, listen, man. Like, you gotta go right there. so that's why I purposely make your drink stronger. You gotta go right there.
But
you got how many steps? No more than 5. So shit. Realistically, all you do is turn the chair and just hop up and woo Superman onto your bed.
But I got a show to run though.
Once again, all you have to do is Superman onto the bed. I'm not hearing it when I gotta do a 30-minute drive.
I appreciate you always anytime that you can make it out here. Sugars, you're in trouble later. Okay, so SB, talk to us about your key moments of this KC and Cincinnati game.
Somebody playing defense
So
in
for me,
overtime.
the whole time the Bengals were making that comeback, and then they tied it up. My thought was,
SB,
Okay,
SB,
what are the
SB,
Chiefs gonna turn
SB,
it on?
SB. I'm gonna stop you a little bit. If there's any way that you can get closer to your mic, try to do that for me, and then start over. You're coming in a little low. You either coming in low or you're coming in muffled. I'm not sure which one it is.
Must have them older
Yeah.
AirPods. Trust me, I just had to upgrade myself.
Okay, you know what? Do what you do. You're audible. I'm tipsy. It could be my ears.
No, it's definitely.
Okay.
It's definitely even lower muffled.
Okay. Okay. So I'm like, you know what? I could be tipsy. I don't know anymore. I don't know what's right. I don't know reality anymore.
Don't hire me as your bartender. You're gonna run out of liquor quickly. You're gonna need to be ordering shit.
Just know, this was back in the days. I probably would have gone to Sharky's right after the podcast. I'm feeling that really nice at this tipsy point. Sugars, you're in trouble later.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, it's the 1 2 1 2. Yeah, we got 6. We're good. On your 6.
Everybody from the 313, put your hands up and follow me.
Oh shit!
All right, 8 Mile.
I didn't even know you could see the spaghetti stain. Listen, you know, we're just still on our shows to watch for Sugars, right? We still have to watch that.
Hold
Listen,
up! What did you just say? That Sugars hasn't seen?
Hey, well, listen, leave my baby alone, okay? Leave my baby alone as I show you all the movies that we need to watch that's on the list. Wait, let's keep looking.
Turn it off. Turn it off right now.
No.
Turn it off right now. Turn it off. Turn it off. T, turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. You realize every single one of these is a classic. Turn it off.
I know!
Turn it off.
And that's some other shit for the cat.
Oh my god. Turn it off.
Leave my baby. He over here sound like Teddy Pendergrass. Turn him off!
Turn it off.
Whoa! That's how I sound? No wonder they do what I say. Okay, see? Because when I drink tequila, yeah. That's a country song. That's a real song. When I drink tequila, I drink tequila.
All the Fridays, Friday Night Lights, all the house parties.
Yeah, we're watching Friday right now.
A Bronx
For the 3rd time. We watched half of A Bronx Tale. And listen, so can I tell you about why we had to watch A Bronx Tale? And don't give it away, but I always open my door for her, right? When I open my door for her, she reaches around and she opens my door for me. And she has no clue how much what that means to me when she does it. And we started watching Bronx Tale, we didn't get to that part yet. So she has no clue what it means. Like she has no clue. Like even as I explain it
Listen,
right now,
gentlemen, if you want to know your worth, watch A Bronx Tale. That will treat you. That will show you your worth,
shit. Guys,
and let
listen.
you know when you got a real one.
If you see the way that I'm smiling right now, like
Listen.
there's a lot of stuff that my girl does on a positive note and negative. Cause everybody like the stuff that I like and shit that asks me. If I tell you like number one thing that like when I open the door for her, she reaches over and she opens the car door for me. It warms a special part of my heart. But she has no clue the meaning behind it. And that's what makes it even, maybe in a weird way, that's what makes it even better because she doesn't know. She doesn't know.
That makes it even better.
Yeah, so she's
That
never,
makes it even better.
she never seen it and she does it. And I'm like, yo, y'all niggas ain't never lied. That shit is true to this day. And we got automatic locks.
I kid you not. I kid you not. I've had that experience and I paid attention many times. The worst thing any female could have in terms of a first date with me, don't let me see A Bronx Tale a week before. Don't let me see that movie a week before we go out. Because I'm telling you, and I've done this shit, son. I've done this shit. I watched the movie, went on a date 2 days later. Did that exact thing? It didn't happen. I called my sister on my phone before I got in the car. I said, yo,
Ain't gonna work.
I called my sister and said, yo, call me in 5 minutes with a do or die emergency.
It ain't gonna work.
I had to dip. And it called the sneaky link over to come get right.
You know, so we gotta hit it and split it in two.
That one I had to dip. I still haven't hit that bitch. I still didn't hit her. You dumper fast.
So
It's a selfish broad.
So it look like we Chill Will has found us.
Damn, I'm gonna go watch that movie.
I wasn't stalling, by the way, SB.
I'm
gonna have Chill Will go ahead and finish up his point, and then SB, you go ahead and as soon as Chill Will is done, you go ahead and come in with your key moments of that Kansas City game, because listen, man,
I have to pay for
overtime. I'm just so happy. Chill Will, go ahead, talk to him, boys, talk your talk.
Talk your talk, B. Talk that talk.
Man, like I was saying, bro, it's really a decision-making moment for Mahomes, man. Mahomes is just like Brett Favre, man. He's so much like Brett Favre, bro. Like, he put himself in situations that he got to get out of because he don't take the game seriously. And that's his vice and virtue, because he can get away with the moments coming back because he's just out there having fun, right? It's cool until it ain't. Until you got somebody like Joe Burrow that's locked in, that's trying to figure shit out. That hardly makes mistakes especially in the clutch. You know what I'm saying? He makes all the right moves, and that's the problem, bro. Like, and that's gonna be a problem for Cincinnati. Gonna be a problem. He just took a team with no offensive line to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So, but I want to say though, like what he did.
You know what, Chill Will? I feel like that was a jab. I feel like that was a jab at Giants fans.
I mean, it's jabbing everybody. Shit.
It's a jab at everybody.
No.
It's a jab at Giants fans. It's a jab at Steelers fans. It's a jab at Ravens fans. It's a jab at Jacksonville.
No.
It's a jab at Seattle.
Listen, you guys know I'm being facetious, but no.
It's a jab at Packers fans.
Joe Burrow. Listen, Joe Burrow made a lot of complaints mute. Like, you can't complain about not having an offensive line anymore. Joe Burrow is like, I'm sorry, fuck that, win. You can't complain about being sacked 4 times in a game.
9.
No, I know that because nobody's ever been. No, wait, no. Who has ever been 50 Cent? Who's ever been shot 9 times?
But I'm saying
Nobody
it's not fair because when you get great quarterbacks like a Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, these guys know how to dissect the game, get the ball quick off, extend plays. They're right. Do that. So that's the thing. It's just a great. He's about to be an all-time great.
But you can. But if you sack Tom Brady
and Peyton Manning, if you sack those motherfuckers 4 or 5 times, somebody's getting cussed out. Somebody getting cussed out.
Or
Joe Burrow didn't say nothing.
Or they lose those games.
But they
Joe
still
Burrow
coming
didn't say
back.
a word.
They may come back.
He's in the second year now.
Yeah, no.
But Joe Burrow definitely has the cachet to say something. Absolutely, Joe Burrow has the cachet to say some shit.
No. That ain't. First of all, that ain't him. Number one, if you know his personality. Number two, he's still in second year.
No,
I
know Burrow. That's not his personality.
6 years in the league.
That's not his personality. But on goddamn sack number 7, if that man had turned around and had showed some frustration, I wouldn't have blamed him.
But yo, the fact that he got sacked,
but he did not.
And you know what?
And that showed a whole lot more.
So probably about the sack thing, right? And I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Chill. I'll come back to you. There's because like I said, being a New Yorker, I know what's going on with the Giants, right? And I know what goes on with New York quarterbacks. There's 2 things I've heard New York quarterbacks say probably in the last 5 years. They have a offensive line issue and they're seeing ghost because of how many times they're being sacked. I ain't hear Joe Burrow once complain about. I have a complaint about his offensive line, and this motherfucker got sacked 9 times in the biggest game of his in his fucking career.
Whoa! What the fuck?
What just happened? Is that your fault?
You're
okay.
Sugars, you dead?
I mean, my mom was closing.
Yeah, yo, mute.
Hold on, sorry. No, my mom was closing her door. No.
You know, you hear a bang.
I heard a thud.
Yo, where you going then?
Yeah, we heard a thud in the house. We heard.
We thought we had to broke up somebody upon the crib. Them.
So we had to figure out what the hell was going on. Like normally when a quarterback has no offensive line and gets sacked 9 times, not only do you hear about the offensive line, but now we've started hearing the phrase where they're seeing ghosts. The biggest game of his career, Joe Burrow had none of it. He kept it thorough and just kept on trucking along. I said last week I would not be surprised if he won. I was rooting for the chaos, especially with this particular matchup because you know why? Because Joe Burrow has showed us he can go for 500 yards, right?
It's a great day to work.
Jamar Chase has showed us he can go for 250 yards in a game.
66 to be exact.
Kansas City has showed us they can give up yards in bunches. So if there was anybody that could come out here and not give a fuck about anything that you have done in your whole entire lifetime, it was them. And that's the reason why I talked about them winning last week.
I fucked up. I should have worn my goddamn LSU jersey today. Because LSU was represented. Shout out Beckham. Shout out Burrow. Shout out Chase. LSU, even shout out the loser in Kansas City side with Edwards-Helaire.
Go ahead, Will. What you say?
It's really a testament to how Cincinnati, by mistake, built their team because they have 2 Pro Bowl wide receivers. And that's the key to this. Like,
borderline
if you don't have a line, get you a good quarterback, and you got a top 5 back. Technically, they don't even use him like that. Well, at least he definitely can. He can run and he can catch. And you got 2 pro. Like, people understand how good T. Higgins is.
Oh no,
like
T. Higgins is that nigga.
T. Higgins is like
T. Higgins is the number one. T. Higgins is the number 1 on any other team.
Yeah, right. But he really technically they got 2 number 1s.
They got 2 number 1s.
Jamar Chase is fast, and they got the chemistry because they play together.
6'10", 103 yards. T. Higgins.
But the thing is that that's 2 little. That's like Jerry Rice and John Taylor. That's what the
Isaac
and when
and Torrey
play like Joe Burrow did. Your line want to block for you. Then now they like, oh, this Joe. It's a different type of energy they go out there. They try to get better now.
Their team is really on some St. Louis Rams greatest show on turf shit. Jamar Chase is their Isaac Bruce. T. Higgins
they got
is their
top
Torrey
5s
Holt.
at each position.
Mixon is their Marshall Faulk. They have no offensive line, just like the Rams had no offensive line back in '99. And Warner does not complain
So
about
you're telling
shit,
me that
just like Burrow don't complain
now,
about
even
shit.
after all of this, that they can now start building an offensive line through the draft if they wanted to?
Yeah, that's what they do. They went from the outside in opposed to the inside out.
Can I also tell you?
That's what they could.
You know they started. And we already saw this. They're gonna start a pattern. Teams are gonna start going out their way to draft the wide receiver that their quarterback used to throw to. Now they're gonna fuck up a lot of times because I'm gonna tell you this right now. The only way I see this working is when that quarterback and that wide receiver or come from a dog school. Not the Alabama. They have to come from the school that had to work themselves from the bottom up and come out of nowhere to win. It's not going to be, I'm going to pair this Alabama quarterback with this Alabama wide receiver. I think they're too spoiled. In the case with LSU, like...
Them niggas had to go get it.
Like, if Georgia's quarterback was actually worth shit...
that part.
See, I don't know shit about college football. I know that. I know that much.
Georgia,
but you know what I mean.
Let's not even go there. Congratulations, Georgia. You got your championship.
But you know what I mean, right?
That's all I'm saying.
But you know what I'm saying. If he was worth shit and he had a bomb ass wide receiver because that team.
No, they got wide receivers. That's the problem.
No,
they
but
have
if he
wide
was
receivers.
wide, no, I'm saying if he was worth shit. And then you tied and he was able to pair him with a wide receiver on a professional level, then they would be that pair. But somebody would think wrongly if they were to try to get Georgia and their wide receiver and put them on a professional team. They ain't gonna cut it. It don't match enough.
Man,
like they're both not elite enough and they both don't have enough dog.
Wait for George Pickens to hit the.
Okay.
Needed it.
That wasn't what I thought it was. Okay.
Somebody wait for George Pickens to hit the NFL. You're going to see how great he is as a wide receiver. Man, George Pickens is a motherfucker for Georgia. I mean, you know that if you watch college football, but it's okay. I know Chill Will understands what I'm talking about.
Okay, I know about the quarterback.
Jameson Williams when he get healthy again.
Okay, so that wasn't the only game one, right? We have another great game.
Shout out Justin Jefferson too.
Right, we had another great game. San Francisco and the LA Rams.
Odell!
Sorry, Could I
Oh,
quick
wait,
just
my
do
bad,
one
my
last,
bad. I'm sorry.
game break?
My bad. We forgot about SB. SB. Go ahead.
Yeah.
That's all right. When the Bengals came back and tied at the end of the third, I'm pretty sure most of us watched and thought, like, okay, now the Chiefs are going to turn it back on. Like, oh, shit, these guys tied us. We're going to take it over.
Yup.
And we saw Burrow throw that interception early in the fourth.
Yup.
And the Bengals defense turned around with a 3-and-out off that. Midfield, Chiefs ball.
I
think that was huge.
That was major. I thought 3 was going on the board immediately. He threw that pick. I said, boom, boom, boom.
Hey, you know what though?
So they get the ball back, and then 2 third downs in a row. Burrow scrambled on his own with his legs and got
The sack he avoided from Chris Jones. That was Eli Manning-esque.
You know they both escaped some sacks, but they also both took some. A lot of quarterbacks this weekend escaped some sacks, but also took a lot of bad sacks.
Garoppolo.
There's a couple of things, right? A couple of you guys mentioned this. Were you done, SB, or you had more? I think he was
like those 3 plays came within a couple of minutes of each other. The 2 Burrow scrambles after the 3-and-out. Yeah. I think the Bengals offense was re-energized after the 3-and-out, and I think the Chiefs defense was kind of gutted by the 2. They thought they had them twice in a row on 3rd and 10, and Burrow got out of it both times.
Oh yeah, B. If my best pass rusher has you with both hands firmly on you, fully in grasp, and you find a way to not only get out of that, avoid another potential sack by the ankles, and scramble for 8 yards on 3rd and 8, that's demoralizing. I'm a fan watching the game who had money invested in it. I will admit. That's demoralizing. That is demoralizing.
Too. You're right. You're right, Ken.
And that's coming from the fan perspective. I could only imagine being a linebacker or a cornerback on that play, or a defensive lineman, or the defensive.
I think that Chiefs defense thought, "Oh shit, they tied it. We gotta go back at this dude, man. He's no joke. We gotta lock back in." And Burrow laughed at them twice.
Because that same drive is when they got the field goal to take the lead. So you get that sack right there. They got to punt it back. You just got a big play to get them down with the momentum having moved after you just got an interception the previous possession. Oh, that would have been major for the Chiefs. I was literally like, oh, they got him. They got him. He sacked. And he rolled. I'm like, oh, it's some Eli Manning shit. Some Eli Manning shit. Oh, they about to get him again. Oh, he got out again. Fuck. He's about to run. Oh, shit, he got this shit. I'm saying this while I'm at the ball yesterday.
Pittsburgh. He reminded me so much of Ben Roethlisberger, bro. That's how Ben was with it, man.
Well, yeah, when he first came to the league.
Like, he's not super fast. Yeah, like he's just get out of situations. Like you literally had this dude like 2 or 3, and he would just duck.
And it wasn't like it was some chop.
But you know
what though? Listen, and
remember, it wasn't like it was some chopped liver or bench player, defensive player. It was their best pass rusher, Chris Jones, who had him in his grasp.
The statues that we talk about, right, that are GOATs. They all were like that because Peyton Manning was like that. He didn't move a lot. It was just a little move. Tom Brady was like that. It was just 2 step. It was a 1 step up. Listen, Brady, I struggle to shoulder.
Listen, Brady.
I can't let you get away with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I literally just watched the old Peyton Manning game from 1999. How Peyton played quarterback 2012, 2013, 2014 is the same way he was playing quarterback back in 99. There was no scrambling, no nothing. I was literally at work watching a 30-minute highlight of them playing the Cowboys back in 99.
I didn't say it was a scramble. It was subtle movements is what I'm talking about. It was a simple step up
in the pocket.
It's a simple when the rushers come in, it's a simple step up in the pocket and make a couple guys miss and you get it off. It's a simple duck down, swing out to your left a little bit and come out and take 2 steps to the left. They was never really running, but they were elusive enough.
To Brady's credit, Brady was still doing that shit. Even at 44,
but the thing Brady is, I feel like they got the ball out 1 second.
It's instinct.
1 second, 2 seconds.
Manning had to. With them. By the time Manning hit Denver, he had to get the ball out 1-2 seconds. Especially
that's what I'm saying. So it never came to that for me. Like they never had to get loose because it was gone. They never had to be elusive. They was just gone.
I always
with Ben
remember.
Roethlisberger, Mahomes.
See, I always remember.
Warren
See
Moon.
Brett Favre pop his shoulder back in a few times.
See, I always remember
Yeah,
seeing these
yeah.
guys do it because it's not the run so much as is that when they go is when you fall back and when you feel that pressure, you take one little step up in the pocket and all of a sudden you got two guys missing and you get that ball off. Like, and I mean, it's not so much rolling out the pocket, but pocket elusiveness. Like, some guys do it differently. Some guys they roll out for it. The statues, they can't roll out. They don't got no legs, but they find a way just to move a little bit. Like move, like shoulder shimmy. You know what I mean? Just twerk their shoulder
Yeah.
and then get rid of it.
Drill.
You know,
That's why that one drill where the quarterback literally you're in a small box, you can't move much, but you got like 4 guys with the stupid pad in that drill.
Yeah, it's just like I don't want you guys to think like I'm calling these guys.
Avoid
Yeah,
this.
I'm not saying these guys are rollout guys and movement guys.
And-
They're elusive in the pocket. They just know how to make that one little step or that one shoulder move to make at least 1 or 2 guys miss and can still get off the pass. We've seen them do it, and it's been frustrating. Like, trust me, I don't know why. I've seen these frustrating things. Like, listen, I've been a Jets fan this whole time. I know what happens when
Giants fan now, bro.
you listen. I'm gonna have to get you up to date.
Yeah, until you update me, you're a Giants fan. You disown the Jets. You're a Giants fan.
Okay. Listen, I still don't have no Jets paraphernalia.
Stop spinning the block. Make the decision. Make the decision to stick
Now,
with it.
you like while we were talking about them, you guys brought up two things, right? That I really wanted to write down and take part of, because it really made me. It brought other branches of thoughts in, right? One was, why aren't quarterbacks throwing the ball away anymore? Like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, like even Joe Burrow to an extent.
It's the blessing and the curse.
Like, we see them constantly wanting to extend the play, and they run around, and they take these horrible hits. Why aren't you because that's what fucked up Kansas City.
It's the blessing.
Like, it almost you understand, before we went into overtime, that alone almost fucked up Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes holding on to the ball too long, trying to do whatever the fuck. That's why you probably call it like Brett Favre's chill will. He's holding on to the ball too long, not knowing what the fuck he want to do. He actually fumbled. If he didn't recover that shit, the game would have been over right then. They were destined to lose.
It's the blessing.
Josh Allen's starting to learn how to do that. His first couple years, he took a few too many 22-yard sacks.
It's the blessing and the curse. What makes you great? What's the saying?
Too,
the same thing that'll make you laugh will
You're so
make
used
you
to
cry.
making a play.
The same thing that'll make you laugh will make you cry.
And then
because when
Times I've seen
earlier in the
Josh
game,
Allen
no,
third and-
you see, it literally happened in the fucking game. A couple times, Mahomes scrambled all over the goddamn place for 8 seconds, and then finds Kelsey for the touchdown.
Yeah,
Blessing.
Yeah, okay.
Drifting back late in the game, just trying to scramble, fumble the ball. Game. Now, had it been reversed, the time he threw it to Kelsey, he ends up scramble, throw a pick or interception. Even Jimmy G, scramble. In the divisional game against Green Bay, throws an interception trying to hit Kittle, knowing his arm is not like that. It's the blessing and the curse with these quarterbacks. They think every goddamn play that they're scrambling, that it's live. You gotta take the good with the bad. It's what they do. Trust me, but
but at some point in time, I feel like
because you can't think like this. But then when they go out there and they escape it and they throw like some magnificent 20-yard play, you're fine with it.
So what I'm also saying though, when you're being chased down, and at that very last moment, you know to get rid of it, to get that guy that touchdown throw. Why don't you know to get rid of it and throw it out of bounds?
But here's the other factor, and this is what I was saying while watching the game. You also didn't want to have too many times where you're letting the clock stop because you didn't want to give Cincinnati the ball with too much time to be able to do something.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, all right.
Now, granted, to lose 20 yards...
Listen, you give me logic, I'll take it.
It's like shit that you have to lose 20 yards, but I also understand being in that... So I know good... I'm watching the game and I'm like, don't give Cincinnati the ball with any time left. Whether you score a touchdown or a field goal, do not give them the ball with any time left. That quarterback over there is not blinking. I've watched this up close and personal in Louisiana. I've flown out there to watch the games. I've seen it.
Smoking Joe while keeping
So
thorough ball.
that nigga's not blinking. Don't leave no 45, 40 seconds trying to go so hard to get. And you can tell. Like I'm sure you with me on this. When they got down in that area, because it seemed like they had no problem getting down there. But when they got there, that's when it was like really calculated and really tried to make sure that they were trying to not leave time on that clock. Because I can guarantee some of them scrambles at that moment, Patrick thought about throwing it away. But it's like, I don't want to give these niggas really much more time. I want to kill it. I want to make sure if we score, whether it's a touchdown or field goal,
There's no time.
there's not even 13 seconds left on that clock.
Understandable.
I can guarantee that was in niggas' minds. Because once again, I'm just thinking, if I'm sitting there, even though I know my football and whatnot, if I'm sitting at a bar with already 6 drinks in, thinking that, I'm pretty sure Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Tyreek Hill, Eric Bieniemy, all them niggas, Travis Kelce are thinking that same shit too.
Or it's even if I think of it, it may have already been expressed as part of the game plan from the coaching staff.
Like, make them kill their timeouts. Make Cincy kill their timeouts if they want this clock to stop.
I'm about to play the game again. I'm gonna play this game so many. Okay, so now
trust me, when I really have time, like this weekend, since there's no football, I'm gonna go back and dissect them 2 games again.
We also had San Francisco, LA. Right?
Jimmy!
So can I say,
Odell!
there's somebody we give a lot of shit to, and when you
Baker Mayfield fan club, how are you today?
When your roses are due, your roses are due. Odell Beckham Jr. 9 receptions, 11 targets, 113 yards.
I don't want to hear no Odell slander again. It's over with. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to motherfucking.
You know how you say you take the good with the bad? We've all always known that Odell Beckham is a showman. Well, he definitely showed his ass out in this game.
You damn right. Made play after play after play. Comfortable taking the backseat, but still knowing his role. But then, you know, because the talk about Odell in terms of him being a bad teammate. In the midst of him finally overcoming what he overcome, in terms of people really questioning if he could even fucking play football for some reason, I'm just like, oh, you motherfuckers stupid. Not only get the first playoff win, get these 2 players, get the NFC Championship to the Super Bowl. One of the first things he goes do is console Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
I'm like, that nigga's over. You, sir, right now, you have every single reason to show your ass and buck wild and give the middle fingers. But one of the first things you want to go do is console that man who's over there crying because he just basically carried his team on his back. His offense, at least, on his back.
His team?
I say offense because that defense is some motherfuckers now. And that's a real nigga move right there. I had major respect, and then you got motherfuckers who out here want to talk about how he's not a locker room guy, he's a negative guy. He's like, you know what?
Keep going in and out.
It's like, shut the fuck up. It's like, really shut the fuck up at this point. Like, right now, in terms of Baker Mayfield, like, bro, Baker Mayfield right now is the toilet paper that motherfuckers wipe their ass with. Him and that entire fan club. Like, I don't want to hear his name right now. And somebody said the realest thing. It's like, bro, it's like, oh man, you know, this wide receiver is doing it without a good quarterback and whatnot. And he said, and then someone came back and said, yeah, but most of these great wide receivers that we talk about, most of them at least had their quarterback who was throwing them the goddamn ball, their bust is standing right next to them in the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. You named the great wide receiver. There's probably only one who didn't have it, maybe 2, in terms of Moss and Owens, in terms of the consistent great quarterback within their whole career. The person that we call the greatest wide receiver of all time.
You know, one of them had sexist people like Jeff Garcia. I mean, it is kind of relevant still to this day.
It is relevant, especially when Jimmy G does especially when the same guy he defends did the bullshit that he did at the end of the game. You see, good and the bad in terms of trying to not kill. Wasn't trying to take a sack, backed up in his own territory. But it's like, okay, if you're gonna throw it out there, throw it at the nigga feet. it at the nigga feet. The guy right there, you could throw it right, as long as he right there, it don't care how the ball get to him. Throw it at the ground where, one, he doesn't have to worry about catching it. Two, it's not gonna get picked. None of that. Throw it at the nigga feet. Pitch to the nigga feet. You throw it up in the air. I saw the play. As soon as it happened.
See, look how easy shit was in the first half. Shit was easy.
I saw the play. You wanna know the first words I said when the play was done? I said, that right there. That's the shit that all of us be talking about when it comes to this team. That's the shit that we all talk about when it comes to Jimmy Garoppolo. That play right fucking there. That fucking play right there. On in a span of a few games, we got quarterbacks literally going out their way to make sure that they're the reason their team wins, or at least their team's in a position to win. You do that fuck shit. Josh Allen spitting on a grave watching Jimmy Garoppolo do that fuck shit. I'm like, I'm out here doing everything I can. This motherfucker gets here and he does that bullshit at the end of the game? Burrow laughing at him doing that shit.
One thing I want to say though, man, like y'all mentioned Odell, which is everybody. I don't think nobody thought Odell was really shitty. He's not the same Odell as he was 3-4 years ago. That's easy, but that doesn't necessarily mean he wasn't great, right? And that just tells you how a wide receiver can't waste his life without a decent to great quarterback. I mean, you just have to have that if you're a great wide receiver. But overall, it's not that with Odell, man. Odell is just a selfish individual. Like he just, when things going bad, you're gonna see the worst. When things going good, it's all good now, because you know what I'm saying.
It sounds like Julius Randle.
When shit don't go his way, it's different. It's different. So that's the only part I have with Odell. Like we was winning, bro, and you was still moping on the field. We're about to go to playoffs, and you moping around on wins.
But he was hurt.
That shit ain't okay, bro. That's some sissy shit. That's some sissy shit, bro. How you crying? We winning.
He tore his ACL in the 6th game of the year.
Like, nigga, what's wrong with you?
But he tore his ACL.
No. I'm talking about when he was playing. I'm not talking about when he tore his ACL. I'm talking about when we win. We got a blowout game. You got maybe 3 catches, fine, but you still moping around. Like, what type of shit is that? Like you still crying like a bitch. Like you was. Man, that dude he's soft, man. That's all. I'm not saying he ain't good, but he's still soft. He know nigga I want on my team. When the shit gets to the, you know what I'm saying? If we gotta go through 2 or 3, 4 weeks, 2, 3, 4, you know what I'm saying, weeks with going through some real shit, he ain't the guy you want in your locker room.
Chill, Will.
He's a guy you need for like a Brady, a Manning. You know what I'm saying? He's made for those guys because he won't go through those downtimes. You know what I'm saying? He'd rather have a good game and lose than a bad game and win.
Chill, Will.
You know what I'm saying? That shit horrible.
There was a couple of games where you guys won when he only had 3 or 4 catches for probably about 35. But let me finish this one. For 3 or 4 catches for probably about 35 yards. But in those same couple games, if the quarterback was accurate with probably 2 throws, those same 3 or 4 catches for 35 yards becomes 5 catches for about 80 yards and a touchdown. If the quarterback is accurate, well, the man is running wide open down the field. That's not frustrating.
That ain't no reason why you need to be
happens. But it happens. The problem is it happens consistently.
But you making excuses for somebody that's moping at the wins. That's not cool. I don't care what it. I mean, what you say. I understand what you're saying. That's not ever cool.
I mean, it'd be easier to not make excuses since I've watched him go to the Rams. I haven't heard nothing. I've heard no Pete. I've seen games where he's only had 2 or 3 catches in them games. I haven't seen no moping. I haven't seen no nothing because when
a touchdown though.
Actually, his first touchdown against the Jacksonville Jaguars was literally 2 catches for 10 yards and a touchdown. 2 catches, 10 yards, and a touchdown.
You're OBJ apologist.
It's good when it's good.
And you're OBJ hater. Like you love him and you hate him. I'm gonna tell you what it really is.
I hate him. I just think he's soft.
When I know I got a dude playing that quarterback position. I know it's live every play. If I know that dude can get that football to me accurately, I know it's lit.
Like, it's a little bit of both. Like,
Listen.
Odell Beckham was pouting over there, like, in Cleveland when that was happening. But I'm gonna tell you why he didn't pout when it was happening in LA. Because LA was the place that he always wanted to be. So that when he still didn't get that happening and he still won, he still had LA to go home to.
I need you to stop right now. I think about what y'all saying. When y'all saying when he not getting the ball, hold on.
No.
I said when he not getting the ball.
No, because I had something.
Like this though. Hold on. This is what I'm saying. Y'all keep saying that he didn't get the ball. It's no. At one point he did not get the ball. Maybe when he first got there, he didn't know the offense. Ever since he know the offense, this man been eating.
Bro,
and he's in the best offense. He's the best offense in the league. Like he got the best offensive mind in the league besides Andy Reid. Like what are we talking about?
Eating.
It's not.
How often was Odell Beckham getting 11 targets?
He all the time. Baker still
all
couldn't get
the
to
time.
him. I ain't mad about it, but yeah, he was getting targets, but that
11?
Baker just couldn't.
11?
Baker just couldn't. No, yeah, he get 8 to 11 targets in some games, but that don't mean nothing because he couldn't get the ball. That's not even a comparison. I'm not complaining about him having a problem with Baker.
Listen.
Everybody has a problem with Baker. That's fine. I'm talking about your response to how you act when stuff don't go your way.
What I was going to say is every Sunday in the morning I link up with my guys and we play some pickup football. I play either out wide, in the slot, whatever. Who's the quarterback when I'm on whatever team I'm on? I'm not gonna lie to you. It does affect. I'm gonna run my route and try to get open. But if I know your arm is not lively enough to get the ball in certain areas, there's certain routes that I'm not going to run. But if I know I got a certain dude, I'm like, yo, I'm ready, I'm active, because either whatever I run here, if I get 1 target or 10 targets, the play is live. That shit matters. As a wide receiver, that shit fucking matters, bro.
When he says live, he means in stride.
Not even. I'm talking like, yo, it's up. Like at any moment, no matter where I'm at, I know that dude has the arm and the accuracy to get me the ball. But if I got somebody that I know for a fact that I don't trust like that, I might just run me a little slant, little out route to stay in the area. Or like if he's rolling to the right side, if I know he throws the deep ball well to his right, that's the only time I'll run a deep route. If it's a right-handed quarterback and I know his arm's not lively, I'm gonna make sure that my real routes I run on the right side. All that shit fucking matters. And that's just me thinking about it. Someone who's played football and whatnot, but definitely not to the level of Odell.
That's what we're talking about. Like, shit was easy in the first half. Roll out, escape, floaters. Backyard shit.
But like I said, they were rushing hard early in the game. So it made it easier to scramble. But at the second half, they sat and waited. They said, yo, you come to us.
Now, I'm going to lose you guys for 3 minutes, maybe. But I'm going to come right back. Shout out to WWE's Royal Rumble. Right? We got 2 shocking incidents that came out of there. We had an appearance by Ronda Rousey, which, if you're assuming what I think you're assuming, yes, that means that she won the Royal Rumble, which means that she will be highlighting WrestleMania. I'm just curious on who she's gonna pick. If she picks Becky Lynch, the person who beat her to leave, or Charlotte Flair, who the person that she has the most physical matches with. That was gonna be interesting. And then Brock Lesnar joining the Royal Rumble and winning that. Most likely, he's probably going to see Roman Reigns again. And we're probably going to get the championship matchup that we were supposed to get a couple of pay-per-views ago before Roman Reigns caught COVID. We're probably going to end up now getting that at WrestleMania. So, keep a lookout for that. But shout out to WWE bringing out Ronda Rousey, because I was not expecting that. That was a pop that actually that actually surprised me because we haven't heard anything about Ronda Rousey since she burned her WWE bridges. She was basically playing mobile games on Facebook for money.
Say she needed that check. Like that's the best thing she could have did because she ain't that guy or no girl no more. You know.
Listen,
so she needed that check.
Listen, and if she comes back to WWE and she decides to buy in this time, you realize WWE has a spot for her. They plan, like, she will consistently be in the championship talk because she was a real UFC fighter. So WWE will always have her.
She's their Kurt Angle and she needs her.
No. Fuck Kurt Angle. She's like their Brock Lesnar. Like they make her like almost an unbeatable force. And anybody that beats her, they're basically like the top of the top of just regular wrestlers. Let's just let you know, like they're gonna treat her like they're gonna treat, because they got Bobby Lashley and they kind of like push him in the same way too. Like for a while, like to beat him means that, oh, you're just one of these Goliath kind of dudes. Yeah, they're gonna like see. That's not like she fucked up. She fucked up them in the beginning. Like she took a shot at the at the wrestling organization, the wrestling fans, and kind of how they work things, you know. And after a while she kind of stopped buying in. She also what ended up happening for a second time, she started to believe her own hype. That's what it was. She did it in UFC, and then as wrestling was building up her persona, and she's going through whatever wrestling's going through, she started to believe her own hype, but not so much believe her own hype. She got disrespectful to the point where, listen, we know that you can beat every woman here, but that's not what the storyline calls for. That's not how some of these storylines are going to play out. And because of that, also, she didn't want to do some of the training things that other people were going through. Like, you still need to work on your timing. You still need to work on your in-ring presence. You still need to work on... That's because you can fight for real doesn't mean anything. Wrestling has a little bit more schematics to it. And, yeah. And then, like I said, and then when she started talking bad about the fans and the wrestlers and stuff like that, then I basically... Vince McMahon was like, yeah, you can bounce. You don't run shit here. Like, WWE treats themselves like the NFL. They're a vehicle that can't fail. And they just keep working the cogs in and out. But they're way more respectful to their cogs. Especially the cogs that matter. They're way more respectful, and as you give to the business, they 100% make sure that they try to give back. So Ronda Rousey returns, so she's gonna get her second stint in WWE, and she's gonna be in the title picture and the title conversation consistently. She's gonna be making an appearance at WrestleMania, and also Brock Lesnar after losing his title earlier in the pay-per-view event, he ended up winning the Royal Rumble, which means he'll probably end up trying to settle his score with Roman Reigns. I still don't know how they're gonna go with that, because I still think that this is a time where they're pushing Roman Reigns. So I feel like this is gonna be a match that Roman Reigns wins over Brock Lesnar, and we'll see what happens with Brock Lesnar after that as a free agent and just goes on a title hunt. Because that may be a different, scarier thing, as Brock Lesnar beats everybody that tries to become a contender for a title that he goes after, versus him just at the title and knocking down everybody else. Alrighty, that's enough of WWE. Let's move on. And where's SB? Oh damn it, SB ain't here. I know SB was watching Royal Rumble as well, because he was messaging me during that time. And that's the reason why I was like, yo, I wasn't even caught up yet. I had to come back in there, and I wanted to talk to SB personally because we got some things from his team. The New Jersey Giants have gotten a couple of pieces from the only team that plays in New York, the Buffalo Bills, and now the New York Giants. New Jersey Giants, after acquiring the general manager Joe Shane said, you know what? I know who I'm familiar with. I know who I have here, and I know who I already spoke to plenty of nights while drinking with, like, yo, bro, and spoken with. Hey, yo, bro.
Bro, how the fuck we lose the game in fucking 13 seconds, B? We had that shit fucking won. What the fuck, my nigga? What type of soft defense is that? My nigga, yo, I need you, son.
But
leave that fucking team and come coach my team now. Leave that fucking team. I'm still trying to get over that bullshit. That's why I had to fucking leave and take this GM job over here.
Like,
so you come do the same and be the main man, because I know you won't fuck that shit up like that.
I don't know how many times they had that conversation before, like, that 13-second shit happened. But I'm assuming that a couple of times drinking or getting high before, they would hit each other like, yo, bro, if I ever get a general manager position, I guarantee I'm going to make you my head coach.
And that OC said, yeah, whatever, nigga. I believe it when you make it happen.
And he became a general manager of the New Jersey Giants. And yep, wasn't he a New York Giant?
No,
that's not the same. Well,
that's
he's a Jet. He was a Jet.
That's not the same one.
Oh,
Trust me, that's not the same one.
P. Ryan.
That P. Ryan that you have was from Florida. This P. Ryan is the real deal from Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
It's funny.
When
Mixon was in the same backfield at one point.
Oh shit. I heard the name and I was like, wait a minute, is that the dude?
With Baker fucking Mayfield as the quarterback who lost against Georgia in the semifinal. And on that note, I'm going home.
Alright, B.
I got work at 5:30.
Appreciate it. Listen, I'll probably be at work at 3:30.
Which I got a 30-minute drive.
Alright. As the Giants get Joe Shane as a general manager and Brian Gable as the offensive coordinator, right? They now get Sean takes over the New York Giants general manager position. Sean, who was the former offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, takes over the head coaching position, and the New Jersey Giants now become Buffalo of the South. Or becomes Buffalo South. And even as I make jest of it, there are no gripes here. There are high praises for both of these individuals. For one, Joe Shane, for him being the second in command to an organization that helped build around Josh Allen, right? And being frontline for that, having input in that, and also seeing how that worked, and seeing how that was successful. And then having the offensive coordinator, the guy that was responsible to help the development of Josh Allen. So for a team that has a young quarterback, has had problems all over their offense, a problem with their offensive line, they get two individuals that it seems like they know how to build and develop a team. And this is a team that has question marks at their young quarterback position. And they need to make a decision real fast about their quarterback position. And they're going to find out real fast if this dude, Daniel Jones, is the guy. And if they're not, they'll go after the next guy that they both find attractive and try to develop him. And because they both were in Buffalo, it cuts out a lot of the early stages of trying to get to know each other and possibly learning all of each other's tendencies. At least you already know each other. You know some of each other's tendencies. You may even know what each other like already, because I'm not expecting them to know all of each other's tendencies because they're in completely two different roles now, and who knows of what they've envisioned for themselves in this particular role. You may only know them for what they've liked in that particular role they were before. You know, love changes, a thug changes, and best friends become strangers. That shit happens, right? Such is life. But they know each other already, and hopefully they know at least some of each other's tendencies, and that may at least take a lot of the beginning portion of this process out enough where they both like, okay, I think we both know what we're trying to do here, what we want here. Or they're able to sit down and communicate a whole lot better because at least they're already friends. At least I'm assuming they already know each other. I see, at least that portion of it. There's no breaking of the ice. They can sit down and be like, okay, let's start brainstorming and figure out what the fuck we want, what direction we're gonna go in, and how we're gonna go about this, and move in one unit. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys something. While this may have been a great move for the New York Giants, right? Don't be fooled in thinking that this is them fully going away from the norm. And what I mean is that the New York Giants have had a problem with they hire from within, meaning they hire people that they're familiar with. They're familiar with these guys. Yes, these are guys that they are familiar with. These guys have been in the Giants organization or been tied to the Giants organization. So there are some ties here. But these are some very two good ties. If you had to have two ties in the NFL that you're looking at right now, these are two respectable ties. Not only in the NFL circle from the general manager position, but also from a development position for when it comes to a player and coaching position. So let's see if this can be the Giants getting back in their ways. Now, even though this has been a great decision, don't expect it to be the greatest of pops in the first year, because you're still all talking about, and take it from a Jets fan that just saw this happen with to the other team in New Jersey. You're still talking about a first-year general manager. You're still talking about a first-year coach. Let's see who you hire as your offensive coordinator. You're talking about a lot of first-year individuals in a lot of key positions. So there's still, regardless of how in sync you are, there's still a lot of growing pains to go through. And we're gonna see now is gonna see how well you're able to maneuver through those other growing pains. See, to get to know each other, shit you've gotten past. Now you actually gotta get experience in your current role. You haven't been a head coach yet. You haven't actually been a general manager yet. Now you actually are these things. And with these things come with a little bit more nuances than what you were used to. Offensive coordinator, you may have been used to a little bit more hands-on-y when it comes to the offense. Coaching, you have to coach everybody. One of the things that Coach Salah said from the New York Jets, him as a defensive coach, one of the things that he ended up realizing, there was a lot more management and then a lot less coaching. He hasn't had the time to even go over there and really coach the defense. He's had to rely on his defensive head coach. You may have been a brilliant offensive coordinator, but you may not end up doing a lot of coaching. You may end up having to rely on your offensive coordinator because there's a lot of management you have to do as a head coach. Not all coordinators are good head coaches. Some guys are great coordinators. We're gonna see which side of the coin or which side of the field that this person lies on. Brian Gable. Folks, I'm gonna leave you with that. It's been a great weekend. We got some great insight into both of these games. We have the Super Bowl coming up in a couple of weeks. Trust me, we're gonna have a whole lot to talk about. We're gonna get into a lot of basketball during that time frame as well too. Like I said, there's only so much we can break about the games. We're not ESPN. We're not gonna sit here and bullshit around for fucking days on end, regurgitating the same shit 18 billion different ways. We're not probably going to talk football unless something significant happens all the way until next week, maybe. Maybe tomorrow, maybe on Wednesday we talk some Super Bowl because we're going to be live at the bar. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to ask me about who my Super Bowl prediction is, and then what my answer to them is going to be. Listen to the show next week when we make our Super Bowl predictions. Cause I'm not making any predictions this week. I don't even think I'm going to talk Super Bowl this week. I'm going to talk Super Bowl all next week. We're going to get into basketball heavy this week. We could Ja Morant, some Cleveland Cavaliers. You understand? Some Evan Mobley, some Rookie of the Year talk. You understand? Like, that's the shit that we're going to do. Like, during the rest of this week while everybody else is...
Sure enough, because you learned his name.
Who? Evan Mobley?
You saying his name properly and shit.
Wait, what was I saying before?
You said some crazy shit. That was a while ago.
I wasn't nursing no well in him. Like, it wasn't nothing like that.
No, man, but like, it's a lot of stuff going on football. We probably will talk football a little bit if I'm here, because there's a lot of stuff. The Raiders got a new coach, Josh McDaniels, man. You ain't touch on that none.
I talked on it on the tea of the weekend. Like, so it was a bullet point that I just didn't get into because we're already recording for 3 hours. So I mean, but you're right. We do have time. Like I said, we will get into Josh McDaniels because he is in Las Vegas now, and I was kind of shocked.
We gotta talk about how I want to talk about how the worst move in the world was to take the Chargers, the Rams to LA. That was the worst. Why? It made no sense. And it was embarrassing for the league. The league can get so much. They can consistently get shit wrong, but their stock is going up because of just the product is even getting worse. But it's just getting like this is crazy. I've never seen nothing where the product is getting worse, but they're still getting more fanfare. It's getting more popular. I don't know how they do it. So it's just really lucky. It's just lucky. They gift wrapped.
It is. Like,
the football's getting worse. They all the rules. And it just makes bad decisions after bad decisions with Cap, with the chart. Like the Rams, literally, bro, they had a home game that wasn't a home game. That's crazy. Maybe and watch when it's gonna be even more embarrassing when they probably gonna win the Super Bowl because they probably gonna beat Cincinnati, and so that's gonna be like the next year. They still gonna be like that though, because Cali fans love the Raiders, even though they love the Raiders, they love. San Diego love the Chargers. They love the Raiders, and they love San Fran, and what's the other team that's out there? That was in LA?
Chargers.
For a minute, but that's the main thing. They want the Raiders. Why don't you not take the? Yeah, but why would you not put the Raiders back in LA? Took them to Vegas.
Well, listen,
makes no sense.
Listen. You're right. I got an answer for that, but I'm not gonna give it to you tonight. We'll talk about that on the next podcast. Tomorrow on Wednesday night, we'll be recording live from Sharky's. If you're able to join us, we'll go ahead and we'll have time to address because I'm cutting off soon.
You right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you do your thing, big dog. It's good to hear from you, big dog. I'm gonna hit you up though, man, because I'm probably gonna come down there, man, in about a month, bro. Slide that way, so I'm gonna be hitting you up.
All right, it's nice hearing from you as always. Like I said, we'll talk. We'll be live on Wednesday from Sharky's. We'll talk on that subject. That's a good subject to talk about. We'll get into that on Wednesday, and then we'll continue on. Thank everybody for listening. Don't you guys forget to continue to catch a wave that never subsides. It's the MyT Sports Podcast. Somebody play my outro so I can stop rambling.
Sorry, B. I tried. Honest. All the bandwidth in the world couldn't keep me contained. No lag. Gonna share my talents with Podbean Live. Always knew I'd take the pod there. Just a lot later than a lot of listeners thought. Last of the real gabbers. Well, maybe not the last. Munchkin got good mic skills. New, improved MyT podcaster. Potting down now. Last call for drinks. Bars closing. Sun's out. Heard the casino got a buffet breakfast. Don't want to go far. Wild night. Tired, B. Tired. MyT
Sports.